Hey, welcome back to episode Instagram podcast. I'm your host Juan, and as always, my co-host here with me. Hey, Trip.
Hey, man, how are you?
Good, man. Space Jam 2 sucked ass.
Oh man, well, I don't want to talk about that anymore.
Okay.
Can we talk about like a bunch of anime instead?
Yeah, like really bad anime. Let's do it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this week we're talking about all of the anime that came out for this season, summer anime 2021.
Yeah.
So we're doing a little preview of that. Enjoy. Other than anime, what's your life been? How are you?
All right, man. I was trying to think real quick. I don't want to talk too much about myself just because, this is one of our longer episodes. We got a lot of animes to talk about.
Honestly, what if it was like a 45-minute episode? We're like,
bad.
How did this happen?
This was bad. And keep going. Clean. Keep going. No, this week, what happened to me? I watched Space Jam 2.
That's a good thing to happen to you.
Horrible.
Oh,
Such a bad movie. I think I generally laughed twice. I did have a good time watching it, though, because, me and Seirei would just kind of, like, whenever a bad line would be said, we would repeat it to each other, or, like, when, like, someone was...
Yeah. I mean, if you watched it alone, I'm sure you wouldn't have enjoyed
miserable.
it at all.
Yeah. One of the best ones was, like, LeBron James. Like, the tunes came out for the second quarter or whatever. The second half of the game. And they walk up and they kind of do, like, a silly face to the camera. And LeBron's silly face is this.
For anyone that couldn't see,
it's just an awkward smile.
Yeah,
but the thing is,
not very silly.
He's done that awkward smile, but it's a callback. He did that smile in front of the camera after a big game when he was younger. So it's like, oh, cool. But anybody who doesn't know that is going to be confused. And so Sierra didn't know that. She goes like, "What the fuck was that?" And I was like, was that his silly face? I was like, that's the looniest his face can go.
It worked for him.
Yes,
it's gonna work for me.
It was a really bad movie. Rick and Morty's in it though, so 1 out of 10. What else happened this week? I can't think of anything really big.
Okay. Well, that was it. No, you watched Space Jam 2.
Space Jam 2.
Your entire week
had a photo,
away from the podcast.
Had a photo shoot for a local magazine.
You motherfucker! When did this happen?
My sister hits me up and she's like, "Hey, you busy?" I was like, "It depends. Like, depends what you need." She's like, "Tomorrow, I need you to show up at Gordo at 9:00. We're taking photos for Upgrade Living magazine." And I was just like, "All right, sure." So we show up and they take pictures of us. I'm like, "What's this for?" It's like, "Oh, they're writing an article about us taking over for Dad." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Does it just interview you?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, I'm not reading this shit." I was like, "Cool." I thought it was cool, but I was just like,
also as journalists,
yeah, I was
they
like,
could have reached out to you too,
yeah, or my brother. And I was
if
like,
you're going to be in the picture, they might as well have spoken to everyone.
Yeah, but they just talked to her, which is fine. She's supposed to be the one in charge of the.
She's running the show.
Yeah, most of it. I do a lot of things too. I do stuff too.
Yeah, you do.
But I was like, cool,
Yeah.
And I was like, that's great. I'm glad that you were able to do this. And so we had to take a quick photo. And the guy that owns the magazine, like, we've known him for years. He knew my dad for years. And so I hadn't seen him in a while, and we caught up for a bit. And yeah, he's doing great. Yeah, he's living his magazine life. I wish I knew something else happened this week, but that's it. There's nothing else. Nothing else is like great happened to me this week that I want to talk about.
Needs to happen.
Nothing really. No.
Yeah, I just love it because normally you come in and you're like, all right, here are all my talking points, but instead you're just like,
I forgot. I literally forgot the podcast was today. Like, I texted you, I think 6 minutes before 8:00 when I'm supposed to be here.
It was 10 till. Give yourself credit.
And I was like, I think I just wrote the pod. And you were like,
you did.
And you're like, yeah. Like, I had forgotten. I made dinner today. I usually don't make dinner today. And when I make dinner, it's usually Friday. So like my brain was kind of cool. It's Friday. Nothing else to do. I was going to go upstairs and animate. And I was like, it literally was like, it struck me, stood up out of the couch. Like, I got to fucking go to the podcast. Yeah, but I'm here. So I didn't have time to write talking notes. Maybe something else really big happened this week that I forgot about. It's all right. Sierra will let me know. Like, when I see her tomorrow, she'll be like, "You didn't tell him this." And I go, "Fuck, I didn't tell him that."
I don't know anything important that happened to you.
Nothing really.
No, nothing.
What's up with you, man? What have you been up to?
Nah, same thing as you.
Yeah, Space Jam 2.
I got interviewed for your business, and
they hit me up. What do you think of Juan? Kind of sucks.
Yeah, they were like, "You know him pretty good," and I was like, "If you say so, dude."
Yeah.
I don't know. I see him once a week, and we talk for 2 hours.
Yeah,
and that's it.
And then we don't see each other
or talk to each other or anything.
You go, "Hey, do you podcast?"
Yeah, man. So I don't know. This week has been a very mellow, chill week. It's been a lot of Monster Hunter stories, to be honest. And while playing that, I've just had streams up in the background. Watched Gerard Khalil, completionist, finish Banjo-Tooie, which is a game that I have gotten to I guess it's not technically the last, but the second to last area again and again and again as a child, as an adult, and went, not worth it. Even though those are like some of my favorite games, it's also like there's a lot of backtracking. There's a lot of, okay, now I've finally gotten this thing. Let's go back 3 levels and go and do that, which just unlocks some other bullshit in another level that you have to go and take care of. It was like a whole bunch of back and forth and moving around that felt obtuse and unnecessary. But the theme and everything, fucking rad. Such a cool game. I love Banjo-Tooie.
Yeah.
So watching somebody else play it, who completes games for a living and has like a whole chat that's telling him like, hey, here's some cool little exploits you could do. You could skip this thing. You don't have to do this puzzle by doing this. If you look in between this crack here, you can see into the next room, shoot this thing in there. Boom, you got it. Just weird little tips and whatnot. So it was like an enjoyable experience. While I played the ever-living fuck out of Monster Hunter Stories too. It is fun. Last week I had played a little bit. This week I had played a lot of bit. And I'm still at the like beginning of the game, and I'm over 30 hours in. And it's weird to be like, yeah, there's still something I haven't unlocked. I know that I haven't unlocked it because it has a lock next to it. And I've seen it since the very beginning of the game. But it's fun, man. It does feel like what Pokemon could have become in some capacities. In others, it's just like a more complex version of rock, paper, scissors. And I'm having a blast with it. It's been really, really enjoyable. The story is pretty garbage, but I like everything else.
Nice.
One of my favorite things in the game, I think most people's like favorite thing, is all the different monsters have different special attacks that you like build up with a kinship meter to show how big of bros you are with your monster at that time in that battle. And everyone has a different attack. So some of my favorites are, there's a monster called a Royal Ludroth. It kind of looks like a lizard with a big old mane, but the mane is kind of like a sponge, so it's full of water. And you go running with it, you leap into the sky with it, and then you smash it down with both of your feet onto its neck and like break its neck essentially, and it shoots out a bunch of orbs of water and it goes and blasts your dude. And then or the dude you're fighting or whatever, and your bros, you just smash the fuck out of it. There was another really good one, just it's a flying like rodent type thing and it puffs up its neck full of air, so it's like a big balloon, and that's how it can fly around more easily. So it's just like drifting slowly in the wind, and like birds and little bugs and stuff are flying around, and then a bird flies in front of its face and it flaps its wing on its nose and it sneezes its attack out, and like you're just resting on top of it and you're startled, didn't even realize the attack was going to happen. That kind of stuff. It's very anime. It's very like adorable to see sometimes. Other times just hardcore as fuck. It's really cool. I like it. So yeah, easily super, super enjoyable to play. And then you have that extra incentive of, oh, I want to see what this new monster's little cutscene is. And you can switch stuff out really good. Bunch of different like color changes for cool gear and weapons you have. Then you see, oh man, that thing that was made out of rocks is now made out of rubies. So then you get like ruby armor and you get a ruby monster to fight alongside. And it's got cool stuff. I really like it. It's a really good game.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, I watched a lot of streams while I was doing that. And the rest of the week has been very mellow. Not a whole lot going on outside of just watching a bunch of anime. And yeah, I don't know. It's been mellow. I wish I had some good highlights, but right now everything's just mellow, and that's how I like it right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I wish I had highlights for you too, but all I had was fucking lows of the lows.
Hey, you know how it is.
Yeah, sometimes it's got a Space Jam 2, New Legacy. You know?
Absolutely, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my week.
So, any anime? Did you watch any anime that wasn't technically anime?
Of course, I watched anime that wasn't technically anime.
Oh, no, anime that wasn't new anime that we're going to talk about right now. That's what I meant.
Oh, no.
You didn't watch anything?
No, nothing.
I thought you said you watched something.
No, just things that are anime that technically aren't anime.
Okay.
Like you were saying before.
Okay, what I'm asking is, like, did you watch any anime that wasn't any anime we're going to talk about this week for the preview?
Yeah, man, I did that too.
All right, let's hear it, man, because I don't think I did. Yeah, probably not.
Okay. Well, first off, I want to shout out some people that have been letting us know about their project going on.
Okay.
There's a little project called Trigun Reanimate. Mm-hmm. They remade the intro song, like the whole scene to Trigun. It's like a fan animation. You can check it out on YouTube. We'll put it down in the description. Just cool to see people that are inspired by something and actually doing something collaborative online. It's always cool to see that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So it's essentially an anime music video, but it's the same animations as
for
the
sure.
intro,
just
in different styles and stuff. Sure. So pretty rad, pretty neat. And then I also watched the first season. I guess it might not even be the first season, depends on however shit actually aired.
Yeah.
But on Crunchyroll, it's the first season of Fate Zero. So I finally fucking did it. I watched some Fate. I got down to it. I had to see what it was all about. And I get it. I get why you guys are all into Fate.
But
it's just not for me.
It's not for you. Yeah, it's okay. It happens.
I totally get it. I think if I did watch it when it was airing and was able to keep up with everything just fine, I would have had a good time with it. There are other things that I've seen, and I'm like, okay, there's a big fan base, and I get it, but I genuinely don't think I would have watched it. Like a certain scientific railgun,
right?
That kind of shit, you know? Totally get it. Tried it some more. It just wasn't for me. But Fate, I do understand a lot better of why people would watch it, and I probably would have seen it and enjoyed it if I had known about it back then. But I guess I just did. I don't know. All the places that I looked didn't have anyone talking about Fate at all. So yeah, watched Fate Zero, about 13 episodes worth. I say about because the first episode is an hour long, so it's kind of like 14, but it was a 13 episode thing.
Yeah. I mean, you said you do it, and you did it. I mean,
the whole first episode boils down to, all right, we're setting up, there's some backstory. Honestly, all of it was just like boring as fuck for me. I didn't care about any of the characters. They didn't make me enjoy seeing anyone at all. I was just fucking sitting there watching people talk about rituals and all these different things, and then hundreds of years passed, and I don't know, it's just like weird bullshit. Long story short, a bunch of different groups of people all do like weird ass rituals to summon these people from the past that are all like, they're not heroes, but they're like strong people.
Okay.
You have them working for you. So you have like a master and like servant system,
right?
Is the way that I think it's described in the show. All of the servants are the important people in history that now have magical powers, and all of the people are just people who also have like magical powers for some reason. And it's all taking place in modern everywhere. Bill Clinton is president in Fate Zero. Just so you guys know who is president of the United States. It's Bill Clinton. That's where we're at. I don't know what year it is. Just because Bill Clinton's there doesn't mean that he is acting president in the real world at that same time frame. It could be 2011 still, but Bill Clinton's back in.
I do have a question. Now that you brought him up.
Yeah, of course.
Did they call him Bill Clinton? Did he just have a saxophone and look like him?
All three.
Really?
No, he didn't have a saxophone.
Oh,
but he was making a speech, and yeah, it was definitely Bill Clinton.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then, I'm watching it, and I'm like, all right, so I like get it. This is just like hella nerdy people would be into this shit. I get it. And then it became, oh no, it's not like hella nerd. The reason I say hella nerdy people would be into it is because of the whole first episode that was just very dry, like, oh yeah, we have to do these spells and that stuff, but like nothing's happening. They just keep talking about doing spells and shit. I don't know. And then we get to the point where Saber has been summoned. She's everyone's favorite. You know her from the blue and white outfit and the blonde hair. Saber.
I only know the one with the big shield.
Yeah, well, whatever. She's got blue.
Okay, that's cool. The blue one. Okay.
So the blue one. She says very quickly, like, oh yeah, hey, what's this thing? Oh, it's a plane? All right. I could probably pilot one of those. I have this ability that lets me pilot any kind of man-made or non-man-made vehicle.
Really?
Or, yeah.
It's like she gathers a bunch of beavers and can drive them.
She could do that, I guess.
Cool.
I just sat there like, really? We're just going to fucking say that? We're going to be like, oh, yeah, fine. She could pilot anything from a horse to a plane. Okay.
Or a horse plane.
Yeah, or a horse plane. So it's things like that. It's things where it's like, they just keep having a power creep that felt unnecessary for no reason, that really detracted me from the show. it just seems like good fights.
How does the animation hold up? I mean, I don't know how old the first season of Fate Zero is, but
the fights are really good. I'm not super big on any character design personally. They did put a lot of effort into a lot of the clothing and stuff. They put a lot of effort into a lot of different parts of it. Honestly, it looks gorgeous at parts, but it also feels like it is stuck in that 2011 time.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like it's kind of stood the test against time, in my opinion. The animation still looks fantastic. Still, yeah, the animation would stand up, but it's the character design and the storytelling and like certain beats don't feel like it feels like they've found ways to do them better. So if they had rebooted Fate at this point, I would have jumped on board. But there's too much.
There's too much.
It's not fucking worth it for me.
I think like story would have to be super killer for you to be like, really into it.
I mean, the thing that was lacking more than anything for me is I didn't wind up caring about any of the characters. I tried really hard to be into it because I figure I should give it a fair shot. I don't want to hate this thing that I'm spending a lot of time with. And I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it by any means. Just Fate Zero was not my cup of tea because I didn't care about anyone.
Hey, man, that's fair. You tried. You gave it a fair shake, and just, it wasn't for you.
Had these fun dark elements. I liked it a lot more than Hunter x Hunter. I'll give it that much. But I've watched 40 something episodes of Hunter x Hunter, and regret it. And because of Hunter, you could always put this back to Hunter x Hunter. Anytime that I don't want to fucking watch something, just blame Hunter x Hunter. That's what's gonna happen.
Aren't they getting a new season or something?
Why?
I don't know. I think they're doing more of it.
Nah.
I think so.
Nah.
I think so.
Why?
I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know.
Oh, I think so.
Okay. Yeah. I think I read somewhere that they're going to do some more Hunter x Hunter stuff.
Yeah, no, I read the same thing that you read.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you sent it to me. I read it.
Okay.
We read it together.
I don't think that happened.
I was with you when we read it.
So, are you done? You done being the Fate guy?
Yeah. Cool. It's not worth it. If I'm going to invest another 140 episodes in something, I don't want to go, yeah, I mean, the fights look cool. At least for Hunter x Hunter, I was like, well, Gon's kind of like a decent main character, and I kind of like what the other characters have going on. And then the biggest flaw in Hunter x Hunter is I didn't give a shit by the end. Nobody was actually doing anything. It was just a mess. Oh, but no, there was so much. Shut the fuck up. Gon saw his dad, and then his dad was like, fuck off.
Yeah.
And then Gon's like, anyways, I fucking hate my dad, and that wasn't worth it. And then you have two other storylines that have just been completely dropped. Leorio, who knows where the fuck he is? Kurapika, yeah, who gives a shit? He was doing some cool stuff. He was doing really cool stuff, actually. And then, his whole storyline got pushed off. And then Killua's whole family storyline just doesn't exist anymore at the end. They like focused on it for a second and they went, hey, look, it's his little sister and here's some more story stuff. And then they just got out of that whole thing. They were like, it's fine now. It's totally fine.
Well, that's your review on Hunter x Hunter and Fate. Yeah. So
they're the same show is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Exactly the same. But no, chances are if you like one, you might like the other.
I mean, I've watched more Hunter x Hunter than I think I've watched Fate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just, there's a lot of it. And
I think the biggest issue that Fate suffers from, and I think that every single fan will agree with me, is that it's so hard to figure out where to start with this. So as a fan, you go, yeah, I either started from the beginning and just kept watching it, or yeah, I had to look up a list of like where to start in order to start watching it. And then as a fan, you're always like, all right, so since you're checking this out, this is the way that you're supposed to do it, which is always a really intimidating start for people.
I think there's I don't remember what the show is. They all have the same like little bit in it, but it's that one
Monogatari.
Those right? What they have like a bunch of different seasons. And
exactly the same.
I think I've looked up several times on what's the way to like watch it, and there's a lot of people like this is how they aired. You should probably watch it like this, and I go instantly don't want to do it.
Yeah,
now.
Exactly.
Yeah. And every time I look up to see how to watch it, it's after watching a really well animated clip of it. I'm like, wow, that looks sick as fuck. What is this? And it's like, oh, this is the Monogatari. I'm like, fucking shit. All right, well, and then I always kind of tell myself I'm going to do it and then never do it. So,
to be honest, I don't think Monogatari would be your thing.
I don't know. Those fights look really dope.
Yeah, the fights look really dope. It's all the parts that aren't the fights that I don't think you would be 100% on.
I don't know, man. We'll never know because I never get around to it.
You into Lolita shit?
Love it.
All right. You're gonna love it then.
I'm gonna love
Watch it. Go for it.
For sure.
Lots of little girls in that show.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyways, I agree with Monogatari. That was another show that I was intimidated by, but I liked enough of the animation that I saw that I wanted to check it out. So I committed to it, and I watched like 2 seasons of it. And when I was getting onto the 3rd, I watched an episode and went, "Fuck this show!"
Did you do it?
I was out.
Did you do it in the like the order someone recommended or the order that they aired?
I don't remember.
Okay,
but I remember I started with the original one, so I started with whatever aired first,
the very first one. Okay,
and then I think I went to because they're like spinoffs in the Monogatari shit, kind of.
Yeah, they all have different names or some shit like that. But
yeah, there's Kize Monogatari, Bake Monogatari, Neko Monogatari, a bunch of different stuff. Kaze Monogatari, I think, as well. I mean, just Monogatari.
If you have Monogatari, then you just put whatever you want in the front, and that season exists.
So Monogatari.
Yeah.
I watched it, and I had an okay time, and then the next season I was not as into, and the 3rd one I was just like, fuck this, I am out. I remember that for sure, which is another thing. The reason that I don't want to watch more Fate is because I watched Monogatari, and I know that you're not going to get the same experience in each one of its subtitles,
right?
You know? It's always going to be different.
Fate's Grand Order, Fate's Day Night, Fate Zero. Like, yeah, it's like, okay, they're not all the same, obviously. They're all a little bit different. They're all Fate, though. They have the Fate in the front of it.
They're all Fate.
Just watch the movie. I watched the movie. I'm a better person for it. I don't know what happens. The shield chick wins. They go to a different world. They Stargate at the end. And yeah, looks good. Good shit. Love Fate.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's my Fate review. Very new to Fate.
So I tried. If you have any more shows you want me to try to watch that are widely popular that we've just missed, hit me up. I'm not doing much right now.
Especially this season. It'll probably be pretty light this season.
I've got like 2 animes I'm watching, and we're going to add a couple more on while we're talking about them this episode.
For sure.
But the shows that we aren't talking about are To Your Eternity and My Hero Academia.
Right.
Because they are carrying over from last season. They are not new.
I also found out that... what's it called? Tokyo Revengers is actually still going too.
Yeah.
Didn't know. I thought it was done. I was like, huh, cool. I was like, great way to stop season 1. Can't wait for season 2. And like, no, we're still going. I was like, oh, cool. I'll watch that.
Yeah.
I mean, now I might as well. Like, there's no fucking
committed to it. Yeah.
Especially now that there's nothing else to watch this season. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's good. It works out. I'll be watching. I'll be watching maybe 4 animes.
My Hero is continuing well. It's fine. To Your Eternity. Also continuing in a good direction. I'm very excited to see where both of those shows go, honestly. With My Hero, the season feels a little bit more like we're going to get to see everyone kind of doing real hero work versus last season, which was just fucking around in school, which was also great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this last episode I actually wanted to ask you about. Have you seen it yet?
No.
Okay, well...
You could ask me about it.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you about it since you've read the manga. You remember the episode of My Hero that was an all-original with Sue, like, going out and training with the seal dude?
Yeah, with the water people. Yeah, she's doing water rescuing stuff, yeah.
Yeah, doing the leopard seal ship. As her mentor?
Yeah.
I guess that's the... Yeah,
or was that during work studies?
I don't know. Fuck it. Who cares?
Because they're different things. 2 times they've done like, hey, go work with somebody else. And one time it was an internship. Another one was just a work study.
It was whatever the one was for that one episode.
Okay. I don't know which one it was, but I know which one you're talking about.
Those people come back for this latest episode. Okay. And did they ever wind up existing in the manga?
I don't think I ever saw them. The water rescue heroes or whatever. But that doesn't mean that they couldn't have been in a panel, and then they've gone backstories or some shit. But to my recollection, no. Also, I feel like that episode that was like original or whatever happened way far into where the manga was made.
Yeah, I did.
So I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna just wager a guess at no. But I mean, it could have. But did they show up and you liked them?
They were the focal point of this episode. But it felt like, okay, well, I like this episode. Great episode. Amazing filler. However, in order to make it not feel like filler, they just went, oh, hey, Uraraka, you got a new suit. It came in the mail. And she's like, yeah, I ordered it. Look at this. It's new. And that was it. Like, that could have been in any episode. Man. And that would have established her having a new suit. But she did show it off. And that was the purpose. So now it's canon.
Now it's like it's all in there. Yeah.
So it's like I don't know. It was a weird episode. I liked it. It was good.
There's a part in the manga where like they make a big deal of Uraraka getting a new suit. I can't remember. I don't think it was the way they did it that way.
That's why I was so confused. I watched it and went,
maybe
I don't fucking know.
It's like, well, might as well get this in here now. Where he's gonna get a new suit later, anyways.
Yeah. So they gave her a new suit.
Cool.
And then everyone else just did their jobs, but their job was to relax because it's vacation time.
Mm-hmm.
They've been working their asses off, and then you need to know that the reason that we're fighting so hard out there every day is so that we could live for days like these and give other people the opportunity for that too. And then I was like, okay, well, this episode didn't need to happen.
Yeah, beach episode.
I think. Yeah. But she got a new suit, so I have to ask Juan.
It had to happen.
That was the only thing.
No, I mean, maybe they just added that in to make people happy because she does get a new suit later. So
yeah. So she gets like better bubble blasts.
Maybe they did. Maybe they added the new suit and didn't make a deal about it at all in the manga. Because I remember there being a panel the start of the chapter, and it was just like a very big like Uraraka jumping, and it's like, hey, new suit, and it's like showing all their stuff or whatever. Yeah, that's odd. That's kind of how it felt. Like she was just like, my suit that I ordered just came in, and everyone was like, oh, cool, let's look at it. It felt like so out of place in this, but it was also at the very beginning, so it was just like, that's how we're starting. Mm-hmm. I guess this episode might be about her. Oh no, it's actually about other stuff. And then at the end it's like, oh no, she's utilizing her touching her fingers powers. Oh well, I'll have to look into it now. I'm curious, but yeah, I'm excited for you to see it and be like, yep, this was all original. Didn't matter. Yeah. But yeah, To Your Eternity is continuing to be a great show. I liked how the way that the season ended wound up getting rid of one of the people that he had absorbed. Yeah. And now he was trying, like, another character was like, hey, don't you remember? And he was trying to remember shit and just can't remember them at all. So now he's like, well, I guess I have to go get my fucking memories back. So that's kind of where the story is going to go, I think. I don't know for sure, but he does seem very upset that he can't remember somebody who was clearly really important to him. So that's possibly where the show's going to go. Okay. I don't have a problem with it, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I'm upset with it. They should remove that. Like, they should add a new suit. They should add a new suit for sure. But no, it's one of those shows that, like, each new episode, if it's doing emotional shit, you're like, yeah, okay, this seems par for the course. And whenever there's fighting, you're like, I guess there's fighting. Mm-hmm. And it's never like, yeah, I'm here for that. It's like, I guess this is also happening too. Yeah. And then this gives more of an investment to fight shit, but I don't really like that. I think one of the first times where I felt that like fighting was super out of place was when he lands on that island and he's like walking with the old lady and he gets like cut off by the plant person for the first time. I was just like, it just felt really, it felt like a real like, tonal shift for like the entire show. I was like, but we already knew we had like a god bear. Yeah. Yeah. We had something that was already like mystical in some capacity. So I wouldn't be super surprised. So it wasn't that out of character, but then it was like, oh no, this is only after him specific. Now we're fighting. It just, even though they did fights before, like I think, well, not real fights, but no, they had the chase scene, action, action certain stuff. But yeah, that did feel strange, and then it became more of a thing, like the most recent fight with that same thing again, right? The plant thing again came back. I don't know. I mean, it's fine. It's not like I'm there for the fights. I'm there because I like the characters. I love this show. Yeah, it's fantastic. Sure. But if there were any part of the show I didn't love, it's that. Okay. Yeah. But anyways, more incentive for more of that. So at least they're tying it to the story in a way that I agree with, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, that's all the anime that I guess I've been watching this week. Yeah, that's good. You got any news? No. Really? Absolutely not. It's not that I forgot, it's that I forgot. Okay. Yeah, so the whole thing with anime news this week is there's a couple of things that came up that I was like, oh, these are important. And then I didn't write them down at all. So I'm sorry about that. I think one of them is like Konosuba is getting a new something or other, new anime. Maybe? Okay, cool. I don't know, maybe it's that. I can do a quick little search here.
maybe. And you could just stay quiet and we could let everyone be quiet for a little bit.
I mean, I have nothing to say. This is the part where I throw to you and you don't have any news. It's fine. We can just keep it pushing. Shh. Okay. I'll say very quiet, Trip. I won't say a single thing. I'll just sit here quietly waiting for any piece of news that may come our way.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know what it is, but Konosuba has a new project.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to figure out. I'm like, was there a new project? Is it a new show? Is it a new movie? Don't know. Just a new project.
Konosuba, are those the anime girls?
No.
Which one's Konosuba?
It's the isekai that's like raunchy.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're right. The super popular one or whatever.
Yeah.
The one that. Okay. Is that not airing? Maybe a new season? Who knows?
I don't know. Beastars also has a new anime project that was announced.
Spinoff? I'm guessing spinoff.
Well, that's the thing, is that these are new anime projects. So hard to say.
Yeah.
That's all that we know.
Yeah.
It's rough. People are upset that it's not another season of
the show.
Of what's it called? Land of the Lustrous.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. People are pretty freaking pissed.
I don't know. I just want to say it's been so long. I feel like it's just never going to happen, right? Like Land of the Lustrous. Are you still reading the manga? Is it still kind of coming out or is it done?
I haven't checked for a couple of months if there's a new one, but it was on like a 7-month like in between release thing.
Oh, it was on a hiatus.
And then it got pushed back further.
Wow.
I think it just has to do with English translation.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, like something about rights or something. Who knows? But I would like more. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like a second season of Land of the Lustrous. But I mean, I feel like we were just talking about, what show we were talking about earlier? Fucking Antarctica Girl, what was that one called? Place for the Universe.
Yeah.
Like, that's 2018. That feels like, it doesn't feel so long ago, but that is several years already, you know, like.
Time flies, baby.
And I feel like that has to be a little, maybe even Land of the Lustrous is like before that. I feel like it's even older than that.
Yeah. No, it's old.
Yeah.
It's like 4 or 5 years old now.
I don't know. You never know what the fucking Bunny and Tiger are getting a second season or something like that.
Oh yeah, there's always
Tiger and Bunny.
shit.
Yeah, so
yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
Well,
yeah, and one last thing that I have to say is Netflix has released seasons 5 and 6 of Hunter x Hunter. Finally, for some reason it wasn't on Netflix, so people would watch it. They would get to the end and go, "What the fuck?" And then they would go over to Crunchyroll.
Oh, okay, cool.
So now,
maybe they got the rights to it or some shit, or
maybe whatever happened. All that matters is that too many people have already made that switch over to Crunchyroll. They're not going to go back to Netflix.
Yeah,
to watch their anime shit.
They kind of fucked up on that one. Yeah.
So yeah, going forward, I guess people would stay on Netflix, but Crunchyroll, man. I mean, that's where everyone wound up watching it anyways.
Yeah, for
interesting.
Who knows for how long it'll be around though? You know.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for them this season.
That's all the news I got for you this week.
Cool, man.
I remembered it was short. Didn't remember what any of them were.
Yeah.
Fucking on it. I just forgot to take screenshots of it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think any of that was super mind blowing, so it's all right.
No, none of it was. I mean, this week's focus is new anime, so they're not trying to announce new anime on top of
new anime. Yeah. So
that'd be crazy.
Let's get into this week's actual topic.
Oh shit. Okay.
2021. Is it spring?
Summer
anime preview. Usually we do these, I think, like 2 weeks out. Some shows already have 3 episodes, but this feel like we had to keep pushing it back because some shows didn't have their first episode until like 3 weeks after the start of the season, you know? So when I was looking through it, I was like, like adding stuff to my queue list. Crunchyroll had stuff was like on its first episode, and then Funimation, some of their shit was like on episode 3 and stuff. I was like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah, it was like
shit's all fucky.
2 to 3 week cycle of releases.
Yeah.
So we're here and we watched it.
Which I feel that's not very traditional, is it? A 3 week cycle? I feel like it's 1 or 2.
Sometimes we'll usually miss like a show or 2.
Yeah.
And we'll wait like 2 weeks and be like, all right. And then like a show comes out the day after and we're like, fuck it.
But we specifically like pushed back this episode for us because there was like 4 or 5 episodes that were like 3 weeks out. We're like, well, that's gonna suck. So
yeah.
So this is happening a little later than usual, but it's fine. I mean, it does kind of make me happy because now I know, cool. Some shows have a little more. I can watch a little bit more of that, and then I know that some of the shows just suck and I don't have to worry about it, and I can watch other shows I've been wanting to get around to.
Honestly, it was like a really palatable watch this go around.
Yeah, like
sometimes you hit shows that are just like, I can't fucking stand this show.
Yeah.
I didn't have any of those, really.
Mm-hmm.
I did at one point. We'll talk about that. But all the other shows felt like, all right, well, whatever. And then you just keep going. So it being so spread out and paced was nice. Yeah. It was a good little pace for a bunch of new shit.
All right, man. Let's get fucking going. I know that we're doing Crunchyroll stuff first.
Yeah, we're crunching it first. We'll do Crunchyroll first, and then Funimation, and we'll leave you guys to think about High Dive,
the powerhouse of anime.
So Crunchyroll starting out, the first show is Seirei Gensouki, Spirit Chronicles, made by TMS Entertainment. They did Dr. Stone, Fruits Basket, and this is based off of a light novel. Yeah. Now, I could definitely tell you, this is the first show that I watched, and as soon as it started, I was like, oh yeah, this is the season of Isekai, right?
Dude, oh, okay. So yeah, I didn't watch because we're going to be reviewing in the order that you watch things. Mm-hmm. So that was lower on my list. But when it started, I was just like, normal dude, talking to a girl, going on a train, instantly murdered.
Yeah, they were like on a bus that got hit by a train.
And I go, wow. What an Isekai moment, right? It was like so fucking hard. I was like, great. This is pretty par for the course this season.
And then the dude got turned into a little kid.
Yeah.
And then he saved a princess.
Yes.
And
he realized he had magic. This all happens really quickly. Like
in like a cell.
Like he dies and then he wakes up, and
storage room.
The part that killed me is that he woke up, and these guys can do one or two ways, right? You're born into the new world and you raised in that world, or you just essentially steal someone's body and you just that already existed.
They always drop into little kids,
and so this
all the time.
In that case, this show was that case. He just dropped into some kid of some very poor boy who was like essentially being like a slave, and I love where he's like, what's going on? And then he goes, hold on, I'm not so and so. I'm this other person. He goes, my mom was murdered, and I'm trying to get revenge on her. Like he very quickly forgot who he stopped caring about who he was in the past and became this new person. I'm like, wow. Fucking very subtle, guys. Way to fucking really kill it.
You gotta power through it somehow, right?
He wanted that revenge. It's just like, why not just start the show with this poor kid instead of making it a stupid isekai? Yeah. I don't know. Obviously, I didn't like this show.
It felt like a very generic fantasy type of world that we got placed into. He saved this princess chick, and there's a lot of back and forth about what to do about him. They treated him like shit.
They beat him, like they tortured him in like the dungeon because he touched the princess. They thought he stole the princess, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, cool. I'm glad they healed him.
She was unconscious.
Yeah,
is the whole deal. I don't know. It just felt like, you know what? If this was baby's first isekai, sure, maybe.
Yeah, but the way the first episode ends is like he gets a council with the king, and he's like all dolled up. He's wearing like nice clothes, got a haircut, and essentially he's been taught how to present himself in front of royalty and stuff. So my guess is that he's gonna convince the king to let him live there and train to be something, maybe some sort of knight or fucking soldier. I don't know, but that's kind of like, it looks like what the show's going forward. I'm not going to continue watching this. It's just very run of the mill. Yeah, I did like the fight where he killed that. He didn't kill that dude actually. He just like broke his arm really bad.
Yeah.
Some other dude killed that dude. Cyanide. Nice magic cyanide. But yeah, it just wasn't for me. It's like it's gonna be a pass. Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next show.
Let's do it.
Because I don't know, I feel like a lot of these, there's not much to say. There's not really a good way to like end it, because it's always just like it was fine.
It's not great. It's not really worth watching.
Sorry, that sounded like beach. Peach Boy Riverside by Asahi Production. They've done Medaka Box, Abnormal, and Heaven's Design Team. This is based off of a manga. And man, I don't know. This one's like, if this was my first like anime kind of experience, if this was one of the like, the pocket full of anime somebody gives you.
Here you go, kid.
I might have been into this.
I think I wasn't a fan of the show until the very end, like the very last bit of the show. And I go, cool. But I still don't know. Like, yeah. So what's this one about? This one's about a princess, right?
Huge boob princess.
Sorry, huge boob princess.
I think it's very important that you emphasize your boobs.
Time out. This season, we're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about who had the best bops and who had the best eyes. Because I did tell Trip he has to figure out which anime character has the best eyes.
Fuck!
It's fine. It's one. I think it's very clear who wins.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah, but yes, this princess has the world's biggest tits. Like, I've seen bigger boobs.
Yeah.
But
we'll talk about bigger ones later.
Yeah, she's got big boobs. She's out here. She's trying to find someone. She runs into a what do they call them? Do they call them demigods? No.
A demi-human.
Demi-human. She was a bunny person. They called them a hair folk, right? Which had an interesting design, right? When I think of like hybrid monsters, like animal monsters, I think of a certain furry aesthetic, right? The character design for this bunny chick was pretty funny. Like she had a very simple round face.
That was the thing. There were a lot of parts of this that I was like, I like that design. Yeah. This is animated pretty good. I just don't care about the characters or plot or anything at all.
Yeah.
But like, there's some nice looking things.
She has a very round face and very long ears. She does very expressless eyes, and she doesn't really have a mouth when she talks. The thing I don't like about her character design, she also has like a giant mallet, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
I don't like her. I don't like her feet. She's got like just 3 toes on each side.
That's what I liked. It looked so stupid.
I hated it. I was like, it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, for some reason, because everything else felt very humanoid. The face felt very cartoon, but the feet felt like realistic, like bunny human feet.
I just did not like it.
Yeah.
It was not. I was like uncomfortable. But yeah, she runs into this hair folk, and she like feeds her, and they become friends. And she's like, I'm gonna go find my friend. The bunny chick's like, I'm gonna follow you because no one can stop me. And then I guess the princess finds out that people don't really care for demi-humans, and then the demi-human saves the town from a giant monster, kicks ass. And I was like, this really isn't for me. In the very end, we find out they tell us a story about a peach that falls in the river.
Okay, it wasn't just like that.
Explain it to me then.
Okay, so there was once this older couple that lived on a mountain.
Okay.
And then Peach fell into everyone knows the story. I don't know why I'm explaining it. That's literally
what
they
do. Yeah,
in the anime. Essentially, I'm sitting there like I want to follow along,
and they're not doing it.
Yeah, well, any fucking way.
So in this story, a peach falls on a river, and then someone eats it, and it gives them superpowers or something. They get like OP, and then it goes like, but there wasn't only one person that ate from that peach or whatever, and like they got their like they're like essentially like Super Saiyan, and they have like their eyes have like an upside down peach logo, which is like a butt. And I go, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty anime. But that was like my favorite part of the show when it ended. I was like, okay, cool. I don't think I'm going to watch this. I thought maybe I was going to watch this because I did watch this one later, like maybe midway through my watching. And I was like, there wasn't anything before that convinced me. And I was like, but afterwards I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think I had to watch Peach. Was it Peach Boy River?
Peach Boy Riverside.
Yeah.
No way, dude.
It's no.
That whole show though, I was just like, I don't know what's happening. And the fights, they had some pretty good sound design. It was really intense, like air stuff going on.
I did like how powerful she was, like the bunny person. I did really enjoy. Like I didn't expect her moveset or like her abilities to be like very strong and like very fast. I did dislike that she beat the monster with her mallet, right? And then in the next scene, like she's like, the princess is like, we're leaving, and she's like, okay, I'm leaving, and she doesn't have her mallet with her. She just left it, and then they're walking, and then the mallet's on her back. It's like, fucking continuity error. Go fuck yourself. Do a better job.
It just doesn't matter.
It mattered to me.
Well, I mean, clearly, like it is
0
something
out of
that
10.
matters. But when you're watching it, you're just like, I don't really care enough about this to like,
Was this better than Space Jam: New Legacy? Probably not. No, that movie's really bad.
Damn. Wait, you think this was worse than that?
No, this is better.
Okay. Because what you just said was the opposite.
Yeah, then the opposite.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, this was better than Space Jam 2.
Yeah.
All right, we're good. All right, man. Moving on to Girlfriend, made by Tezuka Productions. They made the Quintessential Quintuplets and Adachi and Shimamura. This is based off of a manga, and this might be the most trashy show we've seen since Domestic Girlfriend, maybe?
Yeah, dude, if only it had shinier knees.
Yeah. I mean, I think Domestic Girlfriend took... some more straightforward leaps forward.
Yeah, they're more. It was
the first episode.
Domestic Girlfriend. I feel like was a little more grounded in reality.
Yeah,
this one was out of pocket. If I had to describe it as anyways,
dog. This one was wild. And this was some like I'm hanging out. I'm on 4chan. I'm role playing with my homies, and this is the best scenario we could come up with.
I think you had mentioned girlfriend to me before, and like you were like, yeah, dude. So it's about a dude that like. He has a girlfriend.
Yeah. And
then guess what happens? I guessed, he starts dating another girl or something like that. And you go like, yeah, kind of. And I was like, what?
Kind of.
It's It's wild. It's like a teenage boy's wet dream, essentially.
No, it's not.
It's everyone's
so
dream. It's so good.
It's
the best show. Remember how I was saying that like after Peach Boy Riverside, there were shows that like this was one of the after ones. This is one of the better shows.
Yeah, this is one of the, okay. So you have childhood best friends, this boy and girl, childhood best friends. He's been in love with a girl forever. Holy shit, they're finally dating.
She finally said yes.
It took up until now, but they're finally dating. And now they're committed to each other and they're in love with each other. And they kind of want to take things slow.
Yeah.
And then this other chick is just like, you don't know me, but I have a huge fucking crush on you, dude. And he goes, that's really flattering, but I can't date you because I'm dating somebody else. But I'm not saying I don't want to date you because I want to date you so bad. Yeah. I've been in love with you from the second that I saw you when you were here. And I'm just like, bro, come on. You were in love with this chick nonstop, only her, forever, for your whole fucking life. And this one girl comes along and is like, you're hot.
Yeah.
I'm single. What of it?
Yeah, but
then he goes, no, I'm done with my life partner.
But time out. Like you're not selling it, dude. She's really cute. And
right.
And she
really
made him a bunch of food.
She's also like a really, really like good girlfriend.
Good person.
That idolizes him. I think that's important in every relationship.
Oh yeah. Somebody
has to be idolized. Doesn't matter if it's the man or the woman in the relationship or the other woman in the relationship, because that's where this went. Instead of it being like, I'm sorry, I have to make a compromise. It was, what if I date you and my girlfriend? I'll talk to her.
How little do you respect yourself to be like, you know what? If this is the only way I can date you, I'm willing to do that, you know? And it's just like, what? And anyways, my
girlfriend has to say it's okay if I date both of you.
He does go with his girlfriend out on a date, and they bring her on the new girl. She doesn't know, you know, she gets to know her. She ends up falling in love with her. She even says like, oh my God, you're so cute. I would date you, essentially. And he's like, cool. So now that we're talking about it, would it be cool if I dated her? She confessed her love to me. And his girlfriend, like a normal person, a rational human being, says, no, fuck that. That's absurd. And he's like, yeah, but come on, I'll make the both of you super happy. And like they both beg, and she goes,
he kind of sucks. He's got nothing going for him.
He's pretty garbage.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, though, childhood friend doesn't have much going for her either. The one chick is crazy to be like, hey, I know you're dating somebody now, but like still, I want to date you.
I'm still willing to date you.
I'm still willing to. She's fucking psycho because she's completely devoting every single second of her life to this guy, essentially.
I think the part that really like kicked it like to like 100 was
the bath.
The end after they agreed to yes, you can have both of us as girlfriends. He goes, I know. He goes, I know what we can do. You guys can move into my house because I don't have a family and I live by myself. You guys can live. We can live together. The three of us. And I was like, what? I'm pretty sure she's a first year, the new girl.
Yeah,
the other one's like second years. And it's not even high school. They're in middle school? Or is it high school?
It's high school.
But they're still really young. Yeah. And they just move in and they start living their domestic life. She's like, I'm cooking foods. Like, cool. You know, I'm chilling out. Goes, hey, go take a shower. They take a shower. The younger girl goes to the original girlfriend and says like, hey, just so you know, if you and your boyfriend want to fuck, I'm totally cool with it. Don't even worry about it. And then it brings up this whole dilemma of them in bath towels arguing like with him, be like, yo, you're gonna fuck this chick. And he's just like, I mean, I thought about it. I don't know why I wouldn't. He's like, you can't fuck her. And she's like, can I fuck you? She's like, no. He's like, but you want me to fuck you? I was like, what is going on?
The thing is, this is all talk, no game.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to talk about everyone having a like group sesh, just do it.
Yeah.
You know, don't just like make me sit through the whole prep of I'm going to make us dinner and then we're going to take a bath and then we're going to talk about. Just show me the raw dogging and I'll be happy, you know?
I'm going to take that audio clip. It's going to be your ringtone from now on.
Just show me the raw dogging, man.
Yeah.
So that's girlfriend. And then the credits roll and you see that there are 3 other girls.
He's going to get more girlfriends.
And you're like, okay, well, this is this title, very misleading, you know?
Yeah. I think my notes I'm reading is like, you know, it's like dude has a girl, gets both girls. I said, the high school threesome kind of pushed me away. They have nice eyes. They have nice eyes, though.
Look, man, they do got nice eyes, but like I don't really give a fuck about those eyes anymore because we're talking about Remake Our Life, right?
Yeah,
we're talking about Remake Our Life. It's made by the studio Feel. We like them from things like Hinamatsuri and my teen romantic comedy SNAFU. They made this after its light novel. Nailed it.
This was the first episode was
an hour long.
Yeah, and I didn't know that. Well, we had talked about there being a movie this season that was released. So when I was watching this, I was like, I was sitting there like, this has been really long. And then I see it's been 20 minutes and I see it's 50 minutes long or whatever. And I go, fuck that, I'm done. And then I hit you up and you're like, you don't know. That's the first episode. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
So I go back to it. Thank God that the
second half,
the part after the 20 minutes was a lot better.
First half was a lot of setup. And essentially, it was just like...
They set up twice, though. I don't know if you noticed that. Like, It was like, oh, woe is me, I'm sad. And then everything was great. And then the same thing happened again. I was like, oh, why'd you do that?
Well, that was just to show, like, hey, man, even in your, like, happiest version of this life, you're still going to be fucking sad.
Yeah, still a loser.
You want to go back to college? Yeah. Like, but, like, not, like, now in your 30s, but, like, you remember when you were in your 20s? Yeah. That kind of college? So then he goes back to college.
So it's 10 years,
school.
Right?
Yeah, it's 10 years. He's 18. Maybe he's 19. I think he's 18 now.
I think he's 20 actually.
What the fuck? Mm-hmm. He did junior college?
I think
good for him.
I know. I think he's supposed to. I think
I don't know how it works in Japan.
I don't know how it works either. But I think another character says to him like, "Hey, you're really mature for your age. Like, not many 20-year-olds your age would be like the way you are." So maybe he graduated from high school and then took a while to then get applied and approved to this school, because in the past he got approved to 2 schools: the art school of his dreams and then a business school. And he's like, I'm gonna go business because I got to be safe. And then
it's smart.
Yeah. And then he like, well, I'm gonna do my life over. And he decides to go to art school. The part that really, I think is really like, hitting the nail on the head with this show is the whole, like, he keeps talking about these artists that went to that school the same time he would have been there, and how like influential they are in I think it's gaming industry, right? Like
just kind of everywhere. Yeah, all the different animation and film industries. And
he loves them. He's just like, he goes like, maybe I'll get to meet them. And just because I'm not an idiot, we know how shows work. He meets his new, roommates, and they all saying their names. You call me this is my nickname. I was like, oh, these 3 people are obviously those 3 influential people in your life. And he's like, it takes the very, very the entire first episode for him to realize that one of them isn't. I go, oh, okay, cool.
But it's also like he finds her working on a picture at this time. He finds her working on a picture that was his phone background in his last life.
Yeah, he's like
It's, to me, that's more of a like, oh shit, like he's starting when she's already this good. Mm-hmm. Like, I haven't seen this guy do anything that I care about.
But I also think that maybe it's that like that's a photo that she probably released and like he loves it, from the past, right? Like she's probably gotten better and shit, because
probably, but it was already that good at the level that they're at in college, is what I'm saying. Like for it to warrant it being his favorite photo.
I think also like because he had this, this time to come back or stuff or whatever, he's taking school a little more serious.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And he's trying harder, and he's not obviously doesn't know everything, but he knows stuff, and I like this show actually.
I'm liking it a lot. Yeah, the first half of that first episode, fine. It was whatever. Second half, it felt more like a oh shit, like we're starting college. This is like a new, like, totally ignore all the time travel, isekai, weird going back into your previous life bullshit. Mm-hmm. And it's a pretty good like college art school show.
Yeah,
to start out with.
I think also like we had talked about how this did remind us of real life, and the reason it might be better than real life is because it doesn't have the high school bullshit in it, right?
Yeah, the fact that he was like a 28-year-old and he was like, yeah, I'm down to be 15 again or whatever. And then he took some pills to become 15 again and then just go back to school. All of it felt fucking weird.
And then like he's crushing on girls and he's just like, he's like, oh, but this is wrong, but it's okay because the one girl you're crushing on is also this in the same boat as you are. But this doesn't do that. Just essentially it's like, hey, cool, he went back in time. How? Why? Don't know. Don't really care. But it's all right. I like it.
There's a little bit of romance there, but for this, it's also like it doesn't necessarily feel as much of that like, oh, this is an adult in a child's body, because at this point he would already be an adult. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I'm just going to say, as a 30-year-old, he didn't seem like he was doing anything that wasn't abnormal for like a college student to do. Like he didn't behave any
inappropriately.
Yeah, he's honestly just a good dude. So I don't really feel bad about his romantic interest in this.
I don't think it's wrong.
Feel like it's just kind of natural.
But I do enjoy the way the show looks. I like the characters, and I'm kind of curious to see what happens. It's good. It's one of the better shows this season.
I'm definitely going to keep watching Remake Our Life. I'm not expecting it to be impactful in any way.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool to see just a different group of people.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't get to see them in anime too often. All right, next up, we're talking about Drugstore in Another World, The Slow Life of a Cheap Magician. This is made by EMT Squared. They did Kuma 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 Bear and Assassin's Pride. This is based off of a light novel. And I don't have much to say about this show.
Can you read your notes for me? I'm curious what your notes say.
You want my exact notes?
Yeah, I'd like your exact notes on this one.
Okay, well, you're not getting a whole lot.
I just want to read I want you to read your notes, and I'll compare it with my notes, essentially.
Okay, cute slice of life, very mellow.
I wrote Isekai, Drugstore, blah. That's what I wrote.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, it's if you're looking for a cute little we make these different kinds of potions so that different fantasy stuff doesn't happen and you could be healthy. That's all this is.
I know it's not like stated in the show, but do you think, because my theory is that like the stuff that he's making isn't actual magic. It's essentially just like good drinks. Like he's making Monster Energy drinks and like tea and stuff because it's an isekai. He said he was from another world, right? Like, he's just, because everybody keeps saying like, oh man, your potions taste so good, right? So he's just selling like, I think just drinks and telling people, oh, this will help you. Like one was like, oh, this will help you sleep, which does. I think lavender tea does help you sleep or whatever, which isn't a lie. But is that kind of the conceit of the show, that he doesn't actually know magic?
It was the first episode, so I don't think so.
No, okay, so you think...
I think that it does have to do with actually making things, because you have to use these... they're not real world resources, you know? They're from this fantasy world that he's living in. So while he makes a lavender tea, is it like real lavender, or is that like just the color that he's talking about? Or
you're saying like of the entire show, that's the only thing that I had a question about. And I was like, that's not enough to keep me like wanting to watch more, because I didn't enjoy it. So
it's just a slice of life.
Yeah.
I don't think it's doing anything super special, but it's cute.
Yeah, it's whatever.
It was like very low investment, not many jokes. The jokes are lighthearted. Just cute. There's a cute cast. The main character looks like a little kid. He's cute. Whatever.
Yeah.
When I say little kid, I mean he looks like he's like 12. You know, they always have that like kind of that body type where it's like a tiny, small little man who's very thin.
I don't think he looked 12. I thought he looked like he was.
You're right.
I'm just saying you don't have to say that. I'm just saying my opinion. I don't think he looked like he was 12.
How old do you think he was?
I think he was like a teenager.
All right.
Yeah. What I didn't like the fox person that he had as like the
8-year-old.
That was strange to me.
Yeah.
A lot of the jokes were also like, she has a very sensitive tail. People keep grabbing her tail. It's like, oh, okay, cool. It's just not for me. I don't know.
Nah. Not good. All right, cool. Next show is going to be Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy, made by C2C. They've done Wandering Witch and Hitoribochi. This is based off of a light novel.
Oh, God, which is this one?
I know, right? This one is literally the most generic isekai.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's all that I have in my notes, and I think that stands true. To be like, yeah, there's somebody who's summoned as a hero, so he's like a hero kind of situation.
Yeah.
He's not summoned. I don't remember if he was summoned as a hero, but he comes into another world.
In this one, he's summoned to a magical world because his parents were heroes in that magical world, and they went to the real world. And so a goddess brought him back. It's like, oh, this was the deal. They get to go to a different world, but I get to have, the thing they cherish the most. I was like, okay, cool. But the goddess wasn't impressed by him and essentially kind of writes him off. And then he makes a pact with the dragon, essentially like what's it called? Slime, and he's like, cool, we'll have a bond. Like, okay, cool, I've seen this. Like,
that's what it was. Yeah, there was a big old sexy dragon.
He's got some ability. It was just like the ability was like to feel things or to know stuff. I don't know. This show was also just like nothing, like just a really boring isekai.
I think this was the most nothing show that we watched. So it'll be fine. It's one of those things that, again, it's if you're not super exposed to anime, this could be really engaging for you. But if you've watched other shit, you can immediately be like, other stuff's better.
Yeah, for sure. It's just the characters. It's just all of it wasn't that great.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really I can't even dissect why it was bad. It just wasn't good.
Yeah, it was the most lackluster show. A show that's also kind of lackluster, but in a way that I like. The Aquatope on White Sand, made by PA Works. They've done Shirobako, which is That show that you always like to ask if it's that show?
Yeah, the one with the super lewd isekai. It's the one with the girls that make the anime.
And Makia win the promised flower plumes. This is an original show. Since it is PA Works, as I was watching it, I was like, this is fucking gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Who made... I feel like this is going to be PA Works. It's got to be PA Works. And then when I saw it in the credits, I was very satisfied. Yeah. And I decided I would watch another episode, and I'm going to keep watching it. Nothing super special to say about it other than there's a girl who needs a new direction in her life, and she just kind of fucking takes off. Yeah. And she comes across a fortune teller who she befriends.
Why is there I feel like fortune tellers is another trope in anime that I feel like I didn't notice until there's other tropes that you see a lot more. If you were
from that area of Japan, you would understand.
Really? Is that
maybe? I don't know.
How many fortune tellers do you come across?
This whole show feels like it's advertisement for that aquarium and that area.
They're in Okinawa,
tourism.
Aren't they?
Yeah, and that tourism in Japan. Yeah. That's kind of what this show feels like. They're trying to cultivate, people need to come and check out our aquariums and our national parks and all that shit. It's another one of those shows that chooses a niche thing that exists in Japan, and it boosts marketing for it. So
it was really pretty looking,
Yeah, that's the main point.
But yeah, so I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna watch it just because there's nothing really besides it.
It's not really a show for you.
But it was really gorgeous. I will say that was the one thing I took away from it. I was like, wow, the fucking water, the fucking fishes, when the water took her, fucking came out of the aquarium and got her. I was like, is this magic? And I was like, oh, I think this is just her seeing stuff.
It's also
it's
magic. Yeah. And the whole reason that it's is it magic? There's this little kid who seems like he's an island spirit kind of kid.
Yeah.
And he keeps eating fish heads that are left at shrines for him. And he's just walking around every once in a while just doing shit.
He stole her hat. You know what? That reminded me of the astronaut alien chick from what was the other one called?
Adachi and Shimamura.
Yeah, I was just like, huh. Is it just the same deal where no one's really going to talk about it? Does it really matter? I don't know.
It'll come up later. But the whole plot of the show is this girl moves to a town. She's looking for new inspiration. And she just fucking goes there. Doesn't have anywhere to live. Yeah. And then she's like, oh, yeah, I want to work at this aquarium. I need to work at this aquarium because I had a weird magical experience here.
It is wild. Imagine being a failed idol and then being you're going home and your mom's like, oh, you're going home. Cool. We all knew you were going to fail. We're all here to say hi to you. And you're like, fuck that. I'm just going to go to some random town and live my life. I was like, well, good for you.
Especially when it has to do with aquariums. I am a big aquarium guy. I love my fish. I love my oceans. So this show is doing a lot of right things for me. But in general, it's just a slice of life. I probably wouldn't watch it if I didn't like aquariums so much.
I think the thing that I really liked was the character, not the main character, the aquarium girl character.
Yeah, the aquarium girl.
She's cool. All about the ocean, right? And she's turns in her math test, and he's like, yeah, I couldn't grade this because it was a report on some fish life.
She's like, I'll tell you all you need to know about squids. Yeah. I know everything. Math isn't important.
Yeah. And it's just yeah, cool. And I do really like that she's working at the aquarium and they're low staff. Huh. I was like, I wonder who's going to work there. The main character. But yeah, it's fine. I'm curious to see. Maybe it gets super great, but I don't think so. I think it's just going to look really pretty. So
I'll let you know if it does get
super great. Let me know, because that's how I felt
so far. Second episode, very par for the course.
That's how it was with the fucking A Place for the Universe. I was like, oh, this looks nice. I'm not gonna watch it, and then it got super great, and you're like, you have to watch. It's okay, cool, and then it was really good. So
what a good fucking show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, talk about another good fucking show. How about D-Side Traumare, the animation made by San Zijin. They also made Bang Dream and let me just make sure I got this name right. Arslan Senki, I think, is the name of it. This is an original show. So it's called D_side Traumare. Right off the bat, I was like, that's some weird shit. It's probably based off of a video game or something.
Felt like it.
And it's original. It's an original show, but it is a 3D CG group of friends who have powers to fight shit. Power Ranger-y, maybe?
Kind of. No, yeah, for sure felt Power Ranger-y, especially when they were morphing. Yeah, you know what to call it.
So yeah, it's Power Rangers.
What did he say? He said something like,
it's changing time.
He said something really funny. I remember it being like, wait, that's their, that's their call to action essentially. Yeah. I was just like, wow, They could have fucking reworked that essentially. A duster. They're duster something or whatever, I think. Buster something? Booster?
I
don't know.
You know what, man? It's just not worth it for me.
I think the things I liked about this show was I thought like the character designs when they were getting like super like morphed.
Their gear looked so good.
Like so at first I was like, well, it's 3D. For 3D animation, I don't think it was as clunky as we've seen in the past.
No.
It does look pretty good, yeah. But I'm saying like one of the girls has like a rail like minigun and it's green and it has the head of the Statue of Liberty. I was like, I don't know why that works, but it's so fucking cool.
Sometimes shit just works.
The other dude, like one of the other boys has like, they're like ice skates, right? Like they're like blades and he kicks and stuff. Like that's nice. Our main character, we see him like fighting some sort of kickboxing thing he's training. And then like, I was like, oh, he's going to be like a boxer, a punchy guy. And then wouldn't you know it, he morphs up and he's got like lion gauntlets for hands. Like, yeah, it's like, that's pretty dope. I have no idea what's going on. Essentially, like in this world, it's like people, I don't know. In this episode, a guy was upset with like some video game or whatever, and then he got like absorbed by some evil being, and it brought that being to the real world, and then they fought it. And then that dude, I think that dude died. Like they beat the monster, and then the guy that got consumed by this thing was like dead. And I was like,
what happens?
Yeah, I was like, that's fucking wild. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with the show. I just liked the way they looked and like their action poses and their fighting and stuff. But it wasn't great. Like it wasn't like anything revolutionary.
It was fine.
This was one of those shows that's like on my list of like maybe I'll watch this if there's nothing else to watch kind of thing. But it's not by any means like amazing. But she's got a really big railgun with like a Statue of Liberty on it, so that's pretty dope.
I have no interest in it.
Yeah.
I was kind of bummed because it looked clean
for 3D, right?
Yeah, it looked clean for 3D. So every time that happens, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe we have something special here.
Well, we know,
but this isn't doing it for me.
We know it can be done. We know that 3D can be done really well, and this was one of those where it's like, this is done pretty good, but it's not like amazing. Like, was it fucking Beastars 3D? It's like still really blows me away. Like, wow, that's really good. Yeah. You sure it's 3D? And I'm like, yeah, it is absolutely. So this one's like, I would try to catch myself when I watch 3D shows and be like, is something off? And I didn't really see anything, but yeah, it still just wasn't that great.
But again, it purposefully doesn't try to look like anime.
Yeah.
It does look like it's 3D animated.
Yeah, it should look like... I can't wait for them to release a video game of this, though. I'll play the video game of this, like it's like a phone game or some shit like that, yeah.
All right. Speaking of phone games, the next show we're talking about is called Battle Game in 5 Seconds. And when I heard the name, I didn't expect the show to be like what it is. Anyways, it's made by a couple of studios. Synergy SP. They've made all of the Major shows. You remember Major?
I don't think so. Which ones were the baseball ones? Yeah, Major the first, Major the second. Yeah.
And Vega Entertainment, and they've made the 3rd and 4th season of Joker.
It's
that show
that we've never watched. Yeah. I see it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch it, though.
No, not for us. Anyways, it's based off of a web manga, which honestly makes so much sense about, like...
Oh, yeah, okay.
Kind of how shit goes. So, Battle Game in 5 Seconds. I thought that this was going to be, like, a WarioWare situation, if you will, where...
How is that going to work?
Where some kind of a fucked up thing happens, and you have 5 seconds in order to, like...
To start doing the
figure out whatever the fuck it is.
To swat the fly or not move.
Yeah, to do whatever. To assess the instructions, to solve the puzzle, and to survive. I thought it was going to be some wacky shit like that, but no, it's just like, all right, battle game's going to happen in 5 seconds, you guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then some shit fucking happens. I don't care.
Yeah, it's
I did surprise me and make me laugh pretty hard later on, but yeah, I don't care.
It's a survival anime, battle anime kind of thing where, our main character is just kind of this gamer who just is fucking bored with the world and he gets stuck in this weird thing. He ends up fighting this big guy. He beats him, and then he gets blasted by a cat who has like a fucking space cannon on her hand.
And big guy wasn't like big guy. He was like monster.
Yeah,
man.
He didn't look human.
Fucking enormous.
Yeah. Imagine he was like Frankenstein essentially. Like
Mr. X from Resident Evil chasing you down.
Too big, and somehow you beat him because he's such a pro gamer. And then after he gets blasted, he gets like healed and taken to this fucking holding fucking facility, and then they all handcuffs, and she explains the game. It's just like, cool, you're all here, you all
by she you mean the cat
lady. She's like, you're all gonna fight, you all have powers now, you'll figure out your powers later, okay, have a good time. And so everybody's given abilities, and his ability is the ability to make his ability is whatever the person against him think his ability is.
Yeah, so you find the
fucking
whole,
convoluted.
No, I love that.
It's so dumb.
The whole episode, you're just watching it like, okay, what the fuck is this? And they're like, everyone has powers. And then they all get to see what their powers are by like reading a note or whatever.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to see what his was, but he's put in a fight against somebody else right away who's able to turn this stick into a sword, essentially.
I think his powers make anything a sword, right?
Yeah. But it kind of seems
it wasn't
that way.
explained, but it seems like cool.
That's whatever. We can figure that out. And then you spend the whole episode wondering, okay, what's our main character going to do? And then finally at the end, he's like, all right, it's time to show what my power is. After they've done like a little bit of talking, like, oh, you must have a super defensive power. I don't have that.
Shut up. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he uses the same fucking blaster that somebody got absolutely annihilated with on stage in front of.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
In front of a bunch of people.
You're right. The other person.
So everybody's able to know what this power is and can see it. And then he uses that on his opponent, that same power. Because he was like, I've got the most like fucking powerful power.
Does he shoot him with the thing?
He like shoots some other shit and like disarms him and doesn't kill him.
Right, doesn't kill him. It does hit him, and he's just like, these battles aren't to the death as a rule. It's like you could kill someone, incapacitate them, or have them give up. Essentially,
it can be to the death.
Could be to the death, absolutely. But he didn't kill this person. I was like, cool, okay. I guess our main character's not a fucking killer. Yeah. And then later we find out that it's revealed that what his power is actually. He has to whoever he fights believes his power is, that's what his power is. I'm like, I get it. He's got to pro game every single match.
He's got to do some psychological bullshit. And there's also an overarching, he's your favorite, huh? Oh, how's your favorite doing? Yeah. There's a whole organization behind all of this. It's stupid.
Oh, also the whole like, she goes like, you're probably asking yourself why you're here. Let me tell you. It doesn't fucking matter. It's just all random. Everything was random. I was like, okay, cool. I think my biggest concern with the show, besides it having a dumb premise, was I think it looks ugly as shit. Like, I don't think it's animated well.
I didn't mind how it looked, but I didn't like how it looked. Yeah, let's just put it that way. It wasn't a concern for me at all.
I'm usually, super gung-ho for these kinds of like, oh, they have to fight to the death kind of things, but this one really wasn't that convincing at all. So I'm probably not going to watch it.
I did really like that power because I thought it was goofy as hell. I'm like, oh shit, okay.
He's got to figure out he's going to have to keep figuring out how to, use it properly or whatever. So yeah,
exactly.
Pass though.
All right, so the last show on Crunchyroll, which is amazing that we're already at the end of Crunchyroll here, and so far we've only been like, that show's really good.
Aquarium's pretty good, yeah.
The Aquarium's just for me, though. Final show is going to be Nighthead 2041, made by Shirogumi. They've made Stand By Me Doraemon and Dragon Quest Your Story. Now, this is based off of some shit. I don't know.
It just said other.
It just said other when I looked it up on my anime list. So that's what we're going
it's either
with.
Pachinko Machine or 4-Koma Manga. It has to be one of those two.
Probably. So this was one of the most like convoluted ass shows that I think that
I was so confused.
We saw this season. It's a 3D CG animated show again. And in this one, there's a bunch of like pseudo magic bullshit, kind of pseudoscience, like weird talk. And anyways, World War III is about to happen.
Yeah. Essentially, it's like, I thought it was like people that psychic powers exist in this world, and there's people, it's against the law to use them. And there's like a police force that stops them. So like that's some of our characters, but then another group of characters is like two dudes that seem to escape from some sort of lab that also have telekinetic powers. It's like, okay, cool. And the end of the episode is, hey, World War III. And he's like, what? This show was super confusing for being 3D. I thought it looked pretty good.
It was fine.
It was also like, it's kind of the same levels as the other one we talked about. Like, yeah, it looked fine. Like there wasn't anything that was bad about it.
Yeah.
Was it this one? This my one concern about like the way it visually looked was if a character isn't a reoccurring character, they are not in 3D. So when they're in the bar, our two boys are there like ordering pizza and drinks. The bartender and the fucking guy in the back who's hassling them with his girlfriend, they're 2D and it looks like shit. Not as bad as X Arms. Remember where it was like where it was like super noticeable, but it did take me a second like, okay, cool, that guy's not 3D, but they are. So I'm not.
It's really hard to immerse your 3D animation in a 2D world,
but
when it has that style, like that's why we see a lot of anime styles, is so that they can get away with having that 2D animation with 3D animation. But it just shows that it's a it's a poor meshing of animation versus like background characters and stuff.
And we understand why they do that too, because like, why would they spend the budget in making this rig and like modeling it and stuff or whatever when that character's never going to come in again, you know, kind of thing. So other characters, other ways they got away with it, like the bad guys that they were fighting, they all wore the same mask and stuff. They were all like hooded figures or whatever, and it's like, cool, duplicate that. Easy. We make one of them, copy it. But I get why they do it. I still am not a fan of it. It does take me out of it. I don't know. This one was kind of up in the air too. Like, I don't think I'll watch it.
It's not. Yeah. Why?
I want to know why World War III. No, it's fine.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
That's it, dude.
What I do care about is Funimation. Yeah. And all of the shows that are on Funimation.
Okay.
Like The Detective is Already Dead. One of the shows on Funimation, made by a studio, NG, who has made Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out and Kimono Michi Rise Up. Mm-hmm. This is based off of a light novel, and you know, man. Okay, so
first episode was an hour, 40 minutes long. Okay,
yeah,
just letting you know.
It's not a long one. The important thing that I do have to say is that this is the show that has the Hololive girls in it. And they were like on TV reporting something.
Oh, okay.
In the second episode, I think.
The second half of the first episode.
No.
In episode 2, you watched 2 episodes of this?
No, I didn't.
Okay, but it all runs together as one long episode.
Right. So there's episode 1, and then there's episode 2, which is the one that the girls are in that I haven't seen.
Okay.
But
this show, this show's not. I don't know how to explain this. I don't care about this show.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't think it was like good. I don't think it was bad.
You know what it feels like? Huh. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to stand by it no matter what anyone else says. You remember that show that is a Crunchyroll original that came out a little bit ago and it had that girl with the cane?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. What's that one called? God, that was
Inspector.
Yeah, it is called Inspector. You think it reminds you of that show, or I
think it's a worse version of Inspector.
I think it's better than Inspector because of the one fight scene in the airplane, which I thought was animated very well. So.
Oh yeah, I think it was animated pretty good.
Yeah, so that makes it better than the other one.
I don't think that the dialogue mattered whatsoever.
Oh yeah,
Inspector's focus was entirely dialogue, and this show was like, I don't really give a shit.
I just want to see them fight, honestly. Like if they can fucking pull off the animations, like, oh, that's nice. In this, the reason it reminds you of that one is because in this one we have a character who's I think she's supposed to be in middle school. She's young, but she's a detective, and our main character is some random dude who I don't know
is also like 13 years old,
and he's nobody, and he just he finds himself having to be this girl's essentially the Watson to her Sherlock Holmes, and she's like, cool, I'm a detective. I was born to be a detective. I have 7 detective powers or weapons or equipments or whatever. And she's just the best detective ever. The issue is like, they don't really do a good job of writing her to be a good detective. She just kind of says stuff and guesses stuff. So it's like not that great. Yeah, I did find out because I was curious. I'm not going to watch any more of this show, but I was curious, like, why is this show called what it is? In episode 2, guess what? The detective is dead.
What the fuck?
That's the name of the fucking show.
Already?
Yeah. Well, in the second episode, it's a 3-year gap. It's a 3-year jump from the first episode. Like 3 years have passed, and the detective from the first episode is dead, and our main character is like living listless through his life, and he decides to go back to high school, and then wouldn't you know it, a girl that's at the school has inherited the heart of the first detective, I think through some sort of surgery, but that also comes with all her detective powers and her 7 detective weapons. And so that's the conceit of the show. So it's really convoluted, and I'm not going to watch it.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
All right. So the next show is The Duke of Death and His Maid, which I feel like is appropriate just based off of its title. Following up, it's made by JC Staff. You might know them from High Score Girl and Food Wars. This is based off of a manga. And this is the 3D animation that I'm not that into.
Yeah. That's super funny because like in my notes I'm writing like what the show's about, and I go, it looks like the high score girl.
It
right?
does, because I'm not a big fan of that animation.
I don't hate it. I remember enjoying High Score Girl. I like that show a lot more than like this show though.
Oh, for sure,
this
dude.
Show. Oh well, dude, hold on.
Oh, flashback.
Super big boobs though, right?
Oh, huge.
Yeah, huge boobs in this one too.
We're talking like one of the best in the biz, you know?
This is an example of 3D animation that isn't as good, I guess. This isn't great. This show's about a duke Is he? What is that? Is that an actual title? He's
Yes.
He's a duke, and he's been cursed by a witch or somebody. But anything he touches dies. That includes people, and that includes like anything living, so like trees and plants and stuff. So he
was cursed as a child
when he was like 6,
and his parents were like, "This is a lot. You should probably live alone, but we'll give you like a servant." So she gets the parents get the head servant's daughter to go and help out.
Well, I think like he has a butler, but his butler's not there right now, and the servant, the daughter of the head servant who he knew as a child, has come to work there, and she's new to the situation, but like she's a bombshell essentially, and she spends her entire existence just sexually harassing her boss essentially.
Yeah.
Just being like, hey, look at my tits, and hey, like lifting up her skirt and be like, look at my leggings and stuff. And he's just like, don't do that because I don't want to see that. And she goes, well, what are you going to do? You're right. And
she's honestly just playing with death. That's the whole idea.
I think that's what
anything
it is.
he touches dies. So she's like thrilled by this idea of he can't touch her because she'll die, so she could do anything, but she also loves him. So that's like a really fucked up, conflicted thing. It's supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
I'm not that entertained.
She's got some mental issues on that side for sure. Her being like toying with death and stuff. He does like her, right? Like, I'm assuming it's because he's never seen another girl ever. And he seems like a good dude. Like he's like, cool. I just want to live my life, and I want to get rid of this curse. And it just sucks that he has to deal with this person that just harasses him all the time. In this episode, we see a childhood friend come and like say hi to him, and his childhood friend essentially calls him a monster, and he's just like, well, that sucks. But it's okay. I'm gonna get better. What was I gonna say? I didn't like his powers were like anything he touches like dies or whatever, because he's like wearing gloves and stuff. So even with the gloves on, it dies.
Yeah.
I think they should have done something where it's like, okay, cool. Like he has to take off the gloves and touch.
Well, he could touch stuff with his elbows.
Yeah. Well, he's touching shit with his feet, right?
Yeah.
And his ass.
Yeah.
So like she's super scared because like actually she's not super scared. He's scared because she's like, oh, let me dress you, and she's like putting his coat on and stuff, and it's just like, but he's not touching you. Is this how? I want to know how they found out the limits of his powers essentially, because he was sitting. I don't know.
I think you just find it out by the things he does. Not dying right over here, decaying, and being like, oh, I guess that's that.
Like he touched the tree and the tree just fucking collapsed, right?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, but like you've never leaned against that tree,
I don't know.
Anyways, this show's not good.
No,
it's not. Hey, but
I don't want to watch it at all.
Really big boobs, biggest boobs of the season, maybe.
I think so. Honestly, there's like a really good chance that the biggest of the season.
No, I think it's gonna go to the high dive.
But isn't this chick like also like 15 years old? So doesn't she have like a few more years of getting huge boobs?
I don't think we can. I don't think we can count that, because like we're not counting who has the potential for the largest boobs. We're having for who has the biggest boobs of the season. I think it's going to one of the high dive characters.
You're right, sir. You are right. You are very right about that. Instead, I see that you are eager to talk about Remain, which is a new anime made by MAPPA, who've done Zombieland Saga as well as Attack on Titan final season. This is an original show, and honestly, man, this has everything going for it that like would convince me to watch it.
Yeah.
And I fucking do not like it at all.
Why? What don't you like about it?
This show sucks. Okay. That's what I don't like about it.
You just hate water polo.
Water polo is a sport for nerds, man. I always had a blast playing.
I had a good time too.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. We live in California, and during our schooling, we got to play water polo. It was sick as hell, and I probably would have done more if, I was ever encouraged to.
I think also, just now that we're on the topic of water polo, water polo was a good experience for people like you and I who were taller and can't swim, because
fantastic.
People who were short had a miserable time because they were just being drinking water and being dunked and drowning.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't help that I would use them as leverage.
Obviously, you had to get up there somehow.
So saying that completely as a joke then brought me back to high school and seeing these like fucking assholes actually using other people's shoulders and like shoving them down for more leverage.
Yeah.
I can't believe that actually happened. I can't believe that those pricks in fucking PE did that shit. Or junior high, whatever.
Sports or sports, dude. Okay, you got to get the fucking goals. Anyways, this is a sports anime.
Yeah, not really yet, but yeah.
Yeah. Our main character was a state champion in middle school. He got in a car accident, was in a coma for three-fourths of a year.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how much it was, but he essentially lost all his memories from middle school, so the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And he's being told about all this water polo stuff he did, and he's just like, well, I don't want to do that because he doesn't even remember math from like 7th grade.
I can't blame him, man. I wouldn't want to do
stressful
anything.
That would be.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about like how terrifying that would be. Not to just forget like your friends that you had made or experiences or things you've done. The education you had to do, and then like no one seems to care about how hard it was for him. They're like, yeah, just study and go into high school.
That's the thing that I fucking hated.
How mean was that?
Is that everybody that went in there was like, you don't fucking remember me, dude?
No.
And it's like, yeah, you're allowed to be sad about that.
Yeah.
But you're also not allowed to be an asshole to the guy that doesn't remember you from being in a goddamn coma.
I was in a traumatic brain injury.
He doesn't remember anything over the last 3 years. That's sad. That's so sad. And you must feel like clearly they feel sad.
Yeah.
But why would you be like, fuck you, dude? You remember me?
You don't remember us going to state, dude?
No. Like, no, I don't remember. You're nobody to me. Please leave me alone. You're harassing
You're scaring me. No,
Yeah.
the part that really made me sad about the situation was when he was talking to his family and stuff or whatever, and then he's just like, they look different, right? Because he wasn't in the coma that long, but because his memories are gone, he remembers them 3 years before that, and he's just like, that's scary. And he was like, him and his sister are talking back and forth, and like they're changing the subject during dinner, and he's like, he has an inner monologue where he's like, oh wow, she's able to do this. And it's like, she's been able to do that for 3 years. You just don't remember it. How sad is that? You don't even know the inner social workings of your family.
All of the parts of the show that I should be there for and love, all fell flat for me. That I didn't feel. I don't know.
Sad.
I don't know if this family sucks. All the friends fucking suck. I just didn't care about any of the characters. I felt bad for the main character, but I honestly didn't feel invested in his story at all either. I don't know if it's because they were just unveiling everything in like a slow way or something like that. But I honestly would have been more into it if I got to know him and then he lost everything. Like if they did that like 5 episodes in, I would be like, what the fuck am I watching?
Well, didn't it start with like him being in the hospital bed and his sister just talking to him, and then he wakes up and it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's exactly how it happens.
What I wanted to say, since you were talking about the pacing, I can't believe I forgot this. It's just such a throwback, but if I don't say it, it's going to kill me. Fucking Peach Boy Riverside or whatever. I didn't like the pacing. That's the thing I hated most about it. God, that was killing me. It was absurd. This show, it's fine. It's not
fine.
It's not like I think gonna be like one of those like super iconic sports animes. As much as I do like them doing a sport that isn't super overdone or whatever, I think that's cool, good for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing about the show really screams like super great. I don't know. This is one of those things where, like, I don't think I'll watch it. So
for sure gonna skip it. Next up is How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. Another show by JC Staff. This is based off of a light novel. And oh man, this is the point where I was just like, all right, anime, dude, I'm fucking done. I don't give a shit. It's just some dude who does finances for the kingdom now, and he's like refinancing everything. He's like, oh well, your problems are in this. How about we just like do that and that, and why don't we invest more in like ore and shit? I don't know. It just felt so like,
so like
it's an isekai. They're trying to mix up the formula.
Yeah, isekai, dude gets summoned to the world as a hero instead of being like doing classic hero stuff. He's just like, I'm gonna use my brain and like change things. He's like essentially brings democracy to this fucking world, and he becomes a new king. The only thing that like in the entire show that took me by surprise was the ending. Near the ending, they had like a Yu-Gi-Oh reference where he did the whole like he pops up his collar and goes like, "You've activated my trap," and he explains and I go, it really did shock me from like the days that I was like I was dazed with what was going on, and then I was like, wow, that is really strange. Like, why would they do that? And they go, that was strange. That was it. That's all. The only thing of note was that one Yu-Gi-Oh call out to me.
I had a really lame time with this show because they also went like, yeah, we've got all these different countries and all these different struggles going on, and yeah, we're out of money, and that's our issue now, and we summoned a hero because honestly we were gonna like go and kick some ass and like get a bunch of money from taking over other territories, and I'm like, oh, these people are like shitty people.
Yeah, they're dumb.
And I don't care about any of them.
They also planned to summon the hero, and then instead of paying the debt, just giving that people that they owed the debt to, the hero was like, here you go.
Exactly.
And like, it's like, what a bunch of garbo people. This also mixed me up because you had mentioned earlier that you and Kyle have been watching these, like, anime and stuff, and this show has a like humanoid lion man, but I was also waiting to see the humanoid pig chick. But that's from the other isekai from before. And she's an orc. She wasn't a pig. I was like, oh, that's okay. Correct. It makes more sense. Yeah, this show's really bad, I guess. Like, not good. Don't watch this. Watch another isekai this season. Don't watch this one. This one's boring as shit.
But it's a fun idea.
Yeah, I feel like if it was done better.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The dialogue could have been really fun, and like lots of good jokes could have been had, but
it is interesting.
You had a Yu-Gi-Oh reference, and that was the like peak humor.
Yeah, they fucking killed it. They said the last 2 minutes. It's interesting that they're trying to like change the isekai formula so much. So it's like, hey, we'll just make it, but they're all trying to tweak it somehow, and they all seem to just be doing a pretty garbo job of it.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah, for sure, dude. Next show we're gonna talk about is Kageki Shoujo, made by Pine Jam. They'd made Just Because, as well as Gamers. This is based off of a manga, and this is a show that I have no interest in watching, but that's okay. Essentially, it's about like opera singing. It's very different than your typical idol shows.
Yeah,
but this is more or less just like a really bitchy idol show.
Yeah.
You have an ex-idol who's going to a new school. You've got like some super tall idol chick who is not normally, seen in this kind of scene. She's
just not the right size.
She acts weird.
Yeah, especially for her, I don't know, for the way she looks, essentially, right? They're going to the prestigious school that leads them to singing this operatic music. It's an all-girls school. It's a very glitz and glamoury, like performing arts school and stuff. Yeah, and she's just an odd one, right? And she's roommates with the main character.
But our main character is such a fucking asshole. She's such a dick, dude. She treats this other sweetheart who's doing nothing but like being joyful and helpful.
She's super carefree, like essentially,
shit. Yeah, she's treating her like shit, and I'm not about it. I fucking hated that. It was just an hour of me watching the main character be a dick to a nice other character.
A nice person.
I had no reason to be invested in this.
Yeah, also, the main character doesn't like men. She doesn't like being touched by men, doesn't like interacting with men. That's why she essentially got canceled from being an idol. Like, there's a video recording of her, like, cursing out one of her fans and, like, calling him a total creep. I'm pretty sure the show ends with him, like, I think it's alluded to him like being like, I finally found you. So it's gonna be like a weird stalker vibe. The thing I did like about the show was the way it looked. I was like, it's an interesting style.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I was like, oh, this is kind of, it's just different looking, right? And I was just like, I liked it. I liked the super tall chick. I was like, oh, what a nice design.
I liked her too.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's where it ends.
I fucking hated it.
Shit sucked.
It made me so mad. I was legit upset.
It could have been good.
I'm just like, why would you waste the main character like this? Why would you just be like, they're a total asshole when it could be the carefree girl who then gets a total asshole roommate?
Yeah, that would have been different.
It's weird. So you're instead supposed to be rooting for both of them, but you're rooting for one of them to stop being a fucking dick,
and the other one just to keep being who she is.
I don't get it. I'm not into it. Yeah. So big skip in this guy's book. But the next show, The Honor at Magic High School, made by Connect. They've done Sinrio Shoujo and Oresuki, Are You the Only One Who Loves Me?
This fucking show.
This is based off of a manga. And yeah, I have to say this one was really doing a lot of things for Juan. So why did you enjoy it so much?
Show sucked ass. This show's about I don't even know. It's like the first like 20 minutes of it is, no, less than that. 15 minutes of it is like their main character going on a date with her brother. And,
yeah.
And her being like, dude, I want to fuck the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And the brother just being like, cool, let's go get crepes or some shit like that. And then
this is a normal thing for 15-year-olds to do.
Yeah, they're super young. And then there's magic stuff that happens. And then the show ends with them being admitted to school, and they're both at the magical school, and she's in the super good course, and he's in the super shitty course, and she's like, it's not fair. I was like, wow, you have magical powers. I don't think he does.
To me, it feels like, you remember how No Game No Life, there was a very weird relationship between the two siblings.
I've heard of it. Yes.
Yeah. So they were codependent on each other because they didn't know how to live, and essentially are just these like shit fucking garbage people who are amazing at video games, and they're the only people that have ever been in each other's lives that can help each other. There is an ongoing dependency, but there's never like an overt like sexualization between the siblings.
Right.
It's always like, brother, look at this hot chick. Like, I'm helping you out, dude, because I'm like your like life mate or whatever.
Yeah.
In this show, it was just like, I'm gonna get that dick. I'm going to get that dick.
Yeah.
I'm going to get that. Oh, we're in a magic world. Doesn't change shit. Still going to get that fucking dick.
Yeah.
You're 15. I'm 15. You know what we're made for.
It's all cool.
Each other, baby.
It was.
Let's do some incest, child pedophilia type shit.
They're going shopping, and she's just like, God, I usually don't wear this kind of like skimpy clothing, but I do want to show brother all my skin. And then brother's like covers up. He's like, bitch, what are you doing? You look like a fool. Cover yourself up. She's like, how embarrassing. I was like, maybe I could hold his hand later, and he's just like, hey, let's get through this crowd. I'm gonna hold your hand, and she's like creaming herself. Shit sucks, dude.
Yeah, it was a really uncomfortable time.
Bad show.
Another show, the case study of Vanitas. This one was not quite the same as that, so it was a nice change of pace. It's made by Bones. They've done Mob Psycho 100 as well as Josie the Tiger and the Fish and much more that we love. This is based off of a manga, and as soon as I saw a case study in the title, I was like, this isn't going to be good, but I don't know what it's going to be yet.
I think as soon as I saw the Vanitas, I was like, vampires. Like, there's no fucking way this isn't vampires.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so in this world, vampires exist. Everybody knows about vampires.
Classic.
There's one vampire who, I guess, revolted. And he's like, I'm going to stop people from being vampires. I'm going to cure all the vampires. And he's got a book. So our main character's trying to find that book to stop the vampires. But somebody else already has a book, and he's super absurd and wacky. I did enjoy this show, actually.
It was okay.
I think I enjoyed it because everything else was so horrible this season.
Yeah.
Where I was like, wow, that was good time, but only because I just got finished watching that garbage show and the show before that one. Yeah, there was action. There was like comedy. It
looks good.
It does look good, and there's also plenty of like a throwback to chibi bits, where like there's like, I was like, I haven't seen that in a while.
To me, this felt like what Bones was doing to replace like the Blood Blockade Battlefront. And at the same time, Bungo Stray Dogs. Yeah, felt like the two of those combined.
What's funny is that Sierra she was watching. She said this did give her like kind of like Bungo-ish vibes or whatever, and this did give me Blood Blockade Battlefront vibes. Okay, so, which is great because I really like Blood Blockade Battlefront. They had a second season.
Yeah,
Blood Blockade Battlefront Beyond. They had another B, those fuckers. So yeah, this is one of those shows where like I don't think it's amazing, but I think I'm gonna watch this one just because there's nothing really else to watch.
That's fair.
I had a more or less good time, and the characters seem to be okay.
Keep me up to date because it looked okay, but I just didn't care about the characters or the plot yet.
It's just vampires, right?
Yeah, it's just vampires.
And like the main characters. Oh, the way the first episode ended actually was like our main character being like, and that's when I met so and so, and that's how we joined up. Blah blah blah. It's like, and then I killed him or whatever, and credits roll. And it's just like, dope. Something's going to happen. I don't know if it'll happen this season.
That's one of the, it's like the My Hero, and that's how I became the best
hero. We're in season 5 or whatever.
We're over 100 episodes in.
That's funny. That's how I feel about
shitbag.
That's how I feel about when I read the manga. I go like, when the fuck are you going to be the best hero, dude? And I go, Are we there yet? I was like, so this one has that thing too, where like it's like they're setting it up for a future thing. Did you say this was based off a manga?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna watch it.
All right,
but I'm not super stoked about it.
It's just one of those shows. It's made by Bones, so at least it's gonna be okay.
I think it's like the same way you feel about your Aquarium Girls. Like you're gonna watch it. I'm like, cool. I'm gonna watch this one.
Exactly the same as that. Next up is Life Lessons with Uramichi Onisan, made by Studio Blanc. They made My Girlfriend is Shobich. This is based off of a web manga. And, okay, so...
What do you got to say about this one?
This felt like one of those shows that if it was 3 minutes long, choice.
Yeah.
Good. You would have been fucking fine.
Okay.
It is based off of a web manga, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, yeah, I would like a web manga. Yeah, I get it.
The premise of it is like, if you think
funny.
about it, it's pretty good premise.
What's the premise?
The premise is our main character is kind of like the main character of a TV show for like children, kind of like Blue's Clues or like I don't know, like the Wiggles, the educational programs where they teach them about colors and the alphabet and they sing songs and stuff like that. But he's a very broken human being. And like he'll be answering questions, and then he says some super hard, real shit about being like an adult and dealing with like alcoholism or depression or shit like that.
Yeah,
and the kids are just like, "What?" The whole time,
He
and
just makes it way too dark and too real all the time, and then immediately goes back to that. It's okay, kids. We're having a good time. I'm saying the TV show things. I'm down for like a smoke or something. Yeah. It felt like those parts of BoJack Horseman where you get the behind the scenes and they're just pieces of shit. It felt like that.
What was the name of his show?
Horsing Around?
Horsing Around. Yeah. That's right. Okay, yeah, that's true. Look, man, this show, I've been seeing a lot of people, at least when I was scrolling through the internet, people like really like it, and I don't fucking see it. Like, I thought the joke was just, it was tiring. It was just the same joke over and over, right? Like,
I was over it after the first one.
The only time I'd laughed was the time when he was walking to shoot his shot, and he was talking with another castmate.
Yeah.
And he realizes that anytime he says anything that it alludes to a penis, he laughs. That part got me laughing because it was so stupid. He's just like, dingleberries. He's like, like I was like, yeah, more dick jokes. If it was more dick jokes, if it was all dick jokes, I'd be all about it. But it's not. It's not all dick jokes. Yeah,
it's okay.
It should have been 3 minutes long.
Should have been. Would have been a lot better.
Yeah, whatever.
We'll get to another show that is 3 minutes long in a little bit. Scarlet Nexus, made by the studio Sunrise. You know them from Gintama and Cowboy Bebop. Mm-hmm. Now, this is based off of a mobile game. And
wouldn't you know?
Every time that you see an anime based off of a mobile game, it just feels like something is off.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know why, but for some reason, it doesn't feel like genuine, I guess. Right?
This is the Obey Me guys, right? Are they the HoloLive dudes, or are these different dudes? Aren't we talking about that?
We're talking about Scarlet Nexus.
Oh shit, I'm just skipping ahead.
Yeah.
This was bad.
Yes.
Sorry. That's how unmemorable it was. I thought we already went to the next one.
No.
My bad.
It's based off of a mobile game, though.
That's right.
Like all the things pretty much line up, except this was a full 30 minutes of investment opposed to the 3.
Yeah, this shows another world where like people have psychic powers.
Yeah, they do.
And they're like, they team up in units and they go fight. What were they called? The Others. Like monsters would come down from the sky. I didn't know if they were aliens. I didn't know if they were demons.
I literally just put ... things.
Yeah, they were like, ugly as shit. Like they were like.
So that's the thing that let me know that it's a mobile phone game
based off the design.
Essentially, yeah. I feel like in so many advertisements that I'll see, they use body parts mixed with inanimate objects for everything.
Yeah.
So they're like, that's a tongue and it's also a zipper. And you're like, all right, deal. Now, that's a bird cage, but there's also a hand attached to it. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, I feel it.
The show earlier that we talked about where it had the similar, like, the video game vibes. It wasn't a video game. They had like hands with zippers and like tongues coming out of them.
Yeah.
This one had like, they were like women's corsets with like flowers coming out the top or whatever. Yeah. It was like terrifying, but like not like in like an actual scary way. Just like, what a horrible design.
I like it. It's a surrealist kind of fucked up, darker tone. But I think it's very good in a mobile game, and when it's animated, they didn't do a great job. It immediately to me felt like the show that I wish was good. The World Ends With You.
World Ends With You.
Yeah, it's the show based off of a game.
Okay, that's right. The music one, right?
Yeah. And I don't know, man.
When the show started, whatever, we find our main character is essentially like the son of the leader or some shit like that. So he's like prone to be the next best dude or whatever at fighting. He's going to school. Like 2 of the monsters, 2 of the others drop or whatever, and they get like obliterated by like some of the higher ups or whatever. I for some reason like had this weird thought that those others were actually other people, and it was essentially a whole, what's that called?
Ender's Game?
No, Ender's Game or like that Black Mirror episode where like the roaches episode, you know? And then like as the show continued, I was just like, oh, it's not that at all. It's just like real monsters, I guess. And they kind of team up and fight. Yeah. This wasn't that good. I wish it was good. It wasn't good.
On my behalf, yeah.
Yeah, pass.
Oh well, whatever. Stick to Gintama, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, Obey Me, the show that you were clamoring to talk about.
Thank you. I don't know what
made
happened.
by the studio Colored Pencil Animation. You might remember them from The King's Avatar, which is like the only other thing that they've ever made. It doesn't matter. It's based off of a game. Okay, so
what are you going to say about this one?
I thought this was going to be a full-length show, and I thought that would be a pretty cool idea. I thought that would be fine. Essentially, you have this mobile phone game where there are these hot demon boys like Lucifer and Satan and like other names
Beelzebub,
that all mean all the same shit. You know, they're all hot different dudes, and you date them or you're their slave or some shit.
You obey them, dude.
Yeah. Long story short, you're trying to fuck these dudes. So I thought we were going to get a show about like, oh man, maybe I'm going to want to fuck these dudes. I don't know. Is there going to be a hot dude to fuck? I was a little excited because people love Obey Me. I'm not that familiar with it. Very sorry that we're not that versed in the Obey Me lore. But yeah, it was 3 minutes of them playing a phone game where you had to match your face to the different emojis,
which is an actual real game.
Which honestly sounds like pretty fun. It seems like a charming little time, and it would be fun to see these characters that you already love do that and make all these different faces and expressions. But this show comes in with like, you already have knowledge. You know who these people are, and you're going to enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't know who they were. So
yeah, I think the issue with it is it's not very like it's not readily available to people who aren't already fans. So like I came into it being like trying to read who they were and what number brother they were while they're just having, because it's all dialogue essentially. They're all just sitting at the round table and talking about this stuff. I think I would have enjoyed this a lot more if I like knew about them and if I was a lot younger. Like if I was like, I don't know, a teenager, I'd be like, yeah, this is so much fun. But I'm a grown man and I don't want to fuck these boys. So
to me, I don't understand why this is like a currently airing Crunchyroll anime. To me, this feels or Funimation anime. Funimation.
They should be on.
I don't understand why it's that way because Pokemon has done some dope ass short animation shit
on YouTube.
That's way better than this on YouTube. Yeah. It feels like it's a 3-minute format, and it already requires you to know a lot about the characters and everything in order for you to get much out of it. It seems like they're targeting it towards everybody with it just being on Funimation, right? Versus like that specific audience if they were able to have it on a different kind of platform or something.
Yeah, I don't know. But I do feel like, hey, if you're an Obey Me fan, congratulations. Like the show's not horrible. So yeah, you're probably super juiced about it. But yeah, it wasn't for me, and a lot of it is because I don't know about these guys. I don't care about them.
Sucks.
Yeah, it is what it is.
All right. Next up, we're talking about a show called Sunny Boy. It's made by Madhouse. They've done Hunter x Hunter and the Tatami Galaxy. This is an original show, and this is the show of the season.
Yeah.
We got there. We did it. This is the one. And honestly, I saw one episode, and I don't know how I like it.
No, we were talking about this is for sure our favorite show this season.
Yeah.
And then it also came with the caveat that it might just be the best show this season because everything's so bad. Like if this show aired last season, probably wouldn't have been up there. You know, like there was really good shit last season.
But that being said, we're just talking about the first episode right now.
For sure.
Because this show feels like it could go in any kind of direction.
That's another thing. Another fear is that I have no idea what's going to happen, especially at the way the first episode ended. Is like, okay, well, I thought I knew what was going to go on. Now I don't know what's going on at all.
I don't want to get too into it because I feel like the journey of seeing what the fuck is going on and seeing the characters all individually deal with it is exciting. But what I want to say is the animation feels rough in a good way.
Yeah.
It feels like it's more passionate, I guess, in a way.
It takes note from like the Tatami Galaxy and an old Madhouse stuff. Like it doesn't feel like they were going for super clean, crisp stuff like today.
It's looser.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I know maybe that makes it feel more like, I don't know, I'm not gonna say realistic, but it gives
it a different personality.
Exactly.
For sure.
It's not super clean like animes we watch today. if you didn't, I guess if you don't know anime, you probably see it and be like, that looks ugly, but it's not. I think it looks really good for what it is. It is. What is it? I think it's. When I looked at the topic, the title, the genre. It's the genre is sci-fi, and I was like, okay, cool, that's great. Sure.
But I also feel like
it could be a lot of things.
It not necessarily. Yeah. We don't know for sure how much it's grounded in that science fiction. It's not. I don't know. It could be some cult shit for all we know. But what's happening is a high school has been possibly removed from the world.
It's
we don't really know, but it's the people that were inside of the high school were stuck in the high school, and now they are inside of a black void.
Yeah,
they could look out and see absolute nothingness.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out. They don't know what happened. They don't know if the town went away that they were in,
or if the
they don't know if the school went away. They don't know if that's even possible. They don't know if they're in some other place, which is a recreation of it.
Yeah.
They don't know anything. And they're all trying to figure it out in different ways. And some people have special magic powers now.
Yeah, they've been given superpowers essentially. And the powers vary from one person to another. And they keep saying, my theory is that all of them have powers.
I think so.
Yeah, but there are people who are more willing to use their powers, and there's people who are just like, you don't even have powers. It's like, yeah, but
they haven't discovered
or I haven't shown you my powers because I don't want you to know anything about me.
There's a lot of different parts that there are a lot of characters. Yeah, not all of them are important. A few of them are very clearly important, but it seems like there's a ton of people that are in this school that we don't get to see a lot of interaction out of.
There's 36 students.
36
to be exact, and yeah, it's different. I'm enjoying it. I don't know what's going on.
By the end of the first episode, we're getting somewhere. And that's why I liked it.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I still don't know what's going on, but let's deal with what's happening now.
I did kind of think it was just going to be several episodes just kind of being stuck in the same spot. Kind of like those looping episodes of Tatami Galaxy or what's the other one? Horimiya? Is that no?
You're talking about Melancholy?
Melancholy, right? We're just Haruhi. But it wasn't. I'm glad that the pace is changing. But because it's changing, now I don't know what's going to really happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah, man.
But it could be horrible. But I am excited to see it.
I don't want to stand by it at this point, but I definitely think this is the show that you should check out this season. Out of everything, Sunny Boy is the one you should go out of your way to check out.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like that's the one I want to watch the most right now.
Yeah, which, whatever. Yeah. Hey, another show. Look at that. Love Live Superstar. This is also made by Sunrise, and I put that this is other because honestly, they didn't have the studio on my anime list yet, which was fucking wacko. And they had the source as other. I don't actually know where Love Live kind of stems from, but this is the new entry in the Love Live series.
Yeah.
And you could get in at the ground level. It's just about a girl who wants to sing and be an idol, but she's too afraid to sing in front of people, so she doesn't want to do that. But she's being convinced to do that. So and she goes to an idol school or some shit.
She goes to a school that has a huge music program, but she didn't get into the music program.
Exactly.
It's essentially My Hero. She got into the general course track essentially. Something that I saw on this show that I hadn't seen in other shows is a foreign exchange student from China or some sort of Asian country.
Yeah, she was from China.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, that's different. I've seen foreign exchange students that are from America or African American stuff like that, but a Chinese one, I was like, huh, cool. And she's so down to be an idol. I thought the show looked
it's gorgeous.
It looks good, and
it's the best looking show.
I also kind of enjoyed when she sang. I thought she had a great voice. Mm-hmm. I was pretty much on board to, hey, maybe watch this because I was like, well, there's nothing else to watch.
Yeah.
Until we got to the end and I found out that their performances are going to be 3D animated.
Yeah, they are.
And I go, fuck this. No, I'm not doing it because I don't think it looks good. I hate when they should just do 2D for that show because it looked good and I don't like the 3D. But it's just no, I'll just watch Sunny Boy and I'll watch fucking the another show. But nah, this show's it's fine, whatever.
I think the biggest issue with that for her Love Live, the 2D looks so fucking good.
It looks
the 3D that also looks really good just doesn't look as good.
Well, no,
anymore.
Yeah, to be fair, even Sierra was just are they 3D? And I was like, and I go, yup. It took me a second, but I was like, yup. And when they're doing their simple dance moves, it's not a big deal. But at the end of her performance, she does a specific body movements. And I go, no, that absolutely is 3D animated. There's no way you can get away from that. But yeah, it's fine. It looks great, and the singing was good. Characters design's nice. Yeah.
I don't know if I'll watch more. Maybe.
I don't think I'll watch any more either, unless like something becomes. I get really bored and there's nothing else to watch. So
I haven't removed it from my queue yet, but I'm not super interested in it. So we'll see. Next. It was good. It was those good songs, good animation. Next is going to be Dungeon of Black Company, made by Silverlink. They've done Non Biori and Kokoro Connect, and this is based off of a manga. And now this is that one show that we were talking about earlier that you fell asleep to.
I fell asleep to. Yeah, it's an isekai. I got to the point where he was now in the new world, and then I fell asleep. And I woke up in the start of the second episode started, and I go, nope, don't have to watch it. Fell asleep.
Yeah. So anyways, in the first episode, dude gets isekai'd into another world. He doesn't have any money. He needs to make money, so he becomes like a miner. So he's going down in the mines all the time, and he's like, this fucking sucks. I can barely even live. Then he finds out, oh shit, wait, hang on a second. I dropped my only coin that I have, my gold coin, and it kept rolling, and it rolled into a secret portal that led to the third level of the dungeon, which is where the good ore is, the good shit to mine. So he takes on a request from his employer, and he's given supplies to go down to that third level. They're essentially like, whatever, man, you're just going to fucking die anyways. And then he comes back and he's totally fine because there were a bunch of monsters on the second level, but this third area is totally good to go. When he's down there, he like finds this dragon friend who's trying to kill them, and then it turns out that she's just like a little girl, like all dragons are, you know.
Yeah.
And then he forms a pact with her, and he finds a scepter that she ate, and her body couldn't digest. So he finds a shit scepter, and then he mind controls his friend on accident. And the only reason that they're friends, and he has stated this, is because that guy didn't seem like he had any other friends, so he probably wouldn't have gotten out of it if he offered to do like this job or whatever. He's a friend of convenience.
Oh, nice.
More than anything, if not as just a person that he could take advantage of. And this scepter that he finds, he can mind control people with it. So he mind controls his friend and mind controls a lot of other miners. And then he's got like these 10 fucking miners that he's telling, hey, get all this shit. And he's constantly talking smack about them and just being a huge asshole. And he's just a slave driver with a mind control scepter. And then they're all like dying and mad, and they're coming out of their spell. And they're like, what the hell are we doing here? And turns out that scepter broke. It's out of magic, and I was done, man. The main character fucking sucks. He's such a dick.
The first episode, this episode 2 starts with him and the lizard boy getting like, I don't know, stuff like monsters stuck on their face, and I go, okay, cool. So I guess he goes back to working in the mines or something like that. I don't know. This show looked bad. So
it was not great. Not my favorite.
Put me to sleep. So
definitely not my favorite way to end Funimation. But
that's how it ended.
Yeah. And going into High Dive, everyone's favorite portion of the previews. High Dive doesn't show up too often. Amazon doesn't show up too often either. But sometimes they make an appearance, and whenever they do,
it's a treat.
It's some fucking shit, dude.
It's amazing.
All right, so Getter Robo Arc. I'm sure that you're curious about this one. It's made by B Media. They've done Cyborg 009 versus Devilman and Studio A-Cat, and they made Pastel Life. This is based off of a manga, and this is the 5th season in an ongoing series that has had like a 30-year hiatus.
Yeah, they got busy.
They got a little bit busy, but then they got back to it. And don't worry, they got back just like they wanted to.
They did it.
The animation is exactly the same as it was back then, and the plot picks up right where the plot left off last time.
My theory is that they made this season and then they lost it for 30 years.
And I think you're probably right.
And they're like, oh, fuck, we should release that. Yeah, let's fuck, why not? Let's just dump it on High Dive. But yeah, it's about the world's blown up to shit, and there's like robots that fight there's manned robots that fight aliens. I don't know. And our two main characters they look like grown men, but they keep being referred to as children, even though they're like massive. And that's the part that really threw. I was like, these fucking kids, like, you could point a gun at a kid. I was like, yeah, if you show me a fucking kid, you look like you're 21.
It's that anime bullshit that always makes me so mad. Just like, that's a child down there. That's fucking Mrs. Violet Evergarden.
Yo, yeah. And, no. He's looking up. He's like, that's not it. That's a child.
She is 17 years young.
Yeah, no, so, so these two, I don't know if they're even brothers. These two people find a robot, they fight a monster, then another robot saves them, and then it's revealed that the pilot of that robot is an alien. And you can tell he's an alien because he's got a fucked up face. He's, like, drawn different. Well, that's it. It's drawn different.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that about, like, any character, but it's so true.
He's just drawn different.
He's just drawn different.
He looks human. He's human,
but he's just drawn
got extra
different.
shit on his face.
He's got different drawing.
The show was, had super old vibes. It was, I don't know, somehow nostalgic. It made me want to watch Gundam over this. I was like, well, this is finally it.
Might as well watch Gundam now.
It's like I don't know anything about the Ghetto Robo series, but it looks like garbage. And you probably grew up with it if you may be nostalgic about it. But they should have, if they were going to make this, they should have just made it look better. They didn't have to let's say lose the essence of the show, but I know that Major the Second came out and it's also like a continuation of Major the First, and they were able to
picks up at a point where you're just like, all right, cool, so we're just gonna totally
they were able to make it look nicer, but it still looks true to the original. So why not do that with this? Give it a facelift essentially, but no, it's not that good. I'm just gonna go watch Gundam instead of this. It's gonna be a pass for me, dog.
Yeah, I'm just gonna straight up pass this show and move on to Mother of the Goddesses Dormitory. This is made by Az Reed. They've done Future Diaries, which
makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Mind blowing thing I had seen. I was like, this is just. There's no way I'm gonna know any shows this. Future Diaries. Okay, and they've also done Ari Feretta, from Commonplace to World's Strongest.
I remember that one. Yeah,
the one where the dude's eating monsters down in the caves.
That was good. And then I fell off of it because it wasn't that good.
A gun weapon.
Yeah, he was the edgiest dude in the world. Yeah. That shows. I had to finish that.
They sodomized a dragon or something like that later. You didn't watch that part.
Yeah, I think you told me about that.
Yeah, really. Anyways, this is based off of a manga, and it's the fact that it just says manga. I get it, it's my anime list. This is a hentai. We watched a hentai, like a legit hentai.
We didn't. No, there wasn't any.
This was the most soft core. Legit
there was
hentai
no actual penetration
we have
or sex
ever seen in this.
But this
podcast,
we know that High Dive is one of those things where it's super low key that they don't care about showing.
They're just vibing, dude.
They'll show the uncensored versions of stuff, and that's fine. That's kind of no one's after them, but. This show does start off with a very young boy walking into a bathhouse with a bunch of chicks' tits just hanging out. And usually in anime, they'll tastefully cover them with the hair or a fucking towel or shit. No, these bitches are fucking naked. And just oh no, here we go. The story about this is a boy, he's in middle school, his house burned down, he's an orphan, he has no one to go to, he's starving in the street.
Yep.
And then some chick picks him up and says hey, I'll give you some ramen. And she's tell me your woes. He tells him his woes. And he's okay, cool. How about you work here? You can fucking free board, free, food. You get paid. You still go to school. It's fine. He's okay, cool. What's the catch? The catch is it's a dorm room for a bunch of college chicks that are super hot and have no personal space and love to fucking tease the shit out of this boy. Oh, one of the girls has a huge deterrent to men. If a man touches her or, happens to have his face dive straight into her vagina, she bleeds to death through her nose. And that's it. It's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be like a good haha joke show.
I had a funny time cranking my hog.
I know that the same thing happened to you. We were watching it.
That was crazy.
It ended, and then it was oh, thank God, because
the whole problem with this season has been nothing is that enjoyable. It's all just kind of mediocre. It's whatever. But this show, it ended, and I was whoa,
it's over.
Wait, that was so fast. I can't believe it's already been half an hour. They really paced that show good.
Thank God.
Damn, I'm impressed, actually. I give this show a little bit more credit because apparently I was just captivated the whole time. And then it's episode part 2.
It just kept going on, essentially. Yeah.
Oh, no.
And then it's just oh, it's not over. There's more to this. Yeah, dude, it was not good. maybe the best boobs of the season are here. Maybe just by the amount of boobs that there are in this show.
Yeah. The thing is, there's like 5 sets of boobs.
Yeah.
And none of them are censored. So if you're really going for what anime should I watch based off of the boobs in it,
best boobs,
you're probably going to go for this one this season.
Best boobs, but not in the best show.
Close second is
the Duke of Death and Duchess. And his mate or whatever.
Yeah, let's say that's a close second.
Just because of how big they were. They were so big.
Yeah.
Hold on. How big were they in the Princess Peach one?
I don't know.
Nah, whatever.
Or there's a child dragon, but she's also like ancient in that one show that we just talked about.
The one that I fell asleep for.
Since she's a giant dragon, but she didn't have like boobs, but she is big.
No, it doesn't count.
Tough. But yeah, honestly, this season fucking sucks for anime. Yeah. I'm sorry. I wish that I was more into anything. But I do think that Sunny Boy has a lot of promise.
Yeah.
While I'm going to be watching Sunny Boy 100%, I'm also watching the aquarium show, and I'm not super convinced by that. It's a little bit too laid back and nothing going on. Mm-hmm. And I'm also watching Remake Our Life, which I think that I'm going to keep watching that and keep enjoying that one. I don't think there's anything in that's deterring me from it at the moment.
Yeah, I think I'm on a similar page where like there's really not much that's just kind of calling to me. A lot of it's very middling and very, fucking bottom of the barrel. But for Crunchyroll, that Remake of Our Life show is probably something I'm going to watch just because it looks good and the characters are interesting and blah blah. It's just but I think that's literally it on Crunchyroll that like I'm going to be watching.
That's it for me too, man.
Sunny Boy on Funimation.
On Crunchyroll, my bad.
Sunny Boy on Funimation. I'm going to keep watching just because I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm also going to watch I think that vampire show Case Study of Bandits. That's it, dude. That's 3 shows and like only one of them I'm really like gung ho for. That's a bummer. I mean, I guess we're also watching My Hero to Eternity.
Yeah, which again, fantastic. They're exactly the shows that you know and love.
Yeah. So
you should if you didn't watch To Your Eternity from last season, you should definitely check that one out.
Might as well get in it.
It's good. It is good. Remember the same chick who wrote A Silent Voice?
Yeah, that's right.
So it's got that emotional impact, but this also has more of a like action oriented element to it.
I have a question because I haven't watched it since for a while now. There are new episodes out, right? We were talking about this. Mm-hmm. Did they change the intro?
No. Pink Blood, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Pink Blood, baby.
Nice, dude. Good.
It's so worried. They just integrated more characters into the like animation in between stuff.
Good, because I know we were worried about that, but now less worried. Okay, cool. That's it. That is the summer 2021 preview anime. It's a bleak one, so
yeah, dude. But I am very excited to keep everyone up to date about those like 3 shows I'm watching.
Yeah, should be easy.
Yeah.
We will be doing Beastars.
Yeah, we will be doing Beastars season 2. I heard that the intro is really good.
It's on Netflix.
I got a text during this episode
about the intro. Yeah,
dude, the intro is really good.
Yeah, so it's on Netflix. Finally came out to us here in the States, so we're gonna be checking that out. And then I think week after that we're doing the Godzilla something point. Singularity point, that's done by Triggers. There's just a couple things that we're going to be doing, and then after that we're pretty free. So if you got any suggestions, please shoot them our way. Anything you want to see.
There's something else that I haven't talked to you about too. That, like I haven't decided if it's worth doing.
Okay,
so we'll talk about that too. So.
That's it though. If you like our theme song, check out Not Mars on Spotify. Trip, where can we find us?
You can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. Same thing goes for Instagram. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. If you want to send us a tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast Benefit.
And if you want to shoot us an email, instantramenpodcast@gmail.com. Each week we stream between 8 and 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at twitch.tv/Crispather. And we usually have a little bit of before and after talk while we're doing that, if, time allows for it.
For sure.
So I'd like to say thank you to you guys for being here. For Juan, he's been having a really hard time remembering what he did last week. So I'm glad that you were able to get through it, and maybe we can remember more of next week together.
I'll try. Yeah, for sure. So this is bye from Juan.
See you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water.